life can feel like a whirlwind. One moment, everything seems to be in order. The next, chaos ensues. We find ourselves juggling countless responsibilities, trying to meet expectations, and dealing with the unpredictability of life. In the midst of all this, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, stressed, and even lost. But what if I told you there's a way to face all of this with unshakable calm, to find peace in the storm, and to transform the way you live, forever? Imagine waking up each day with a clear mind and a strong heart, knowing that no matter what comes your way, you have the tools to handle it. Picture yourself moving through life with confidence, resilience, and a deep sense of inner peace that nothing and no one can disturb. This is not a fantasy, it's something you can achieve, and it starts with the wisdom of Stoicism. Stoicism is more than just a philosophy, it's a way of life. It offers practical tools that can help you navigate through life's challenges, big or small. The teachings of Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca have stood the test of time for a reason. They work. These thinkers lived through wars, personal loss, and the chaos of ancient times, yet they developed a mindset that allowed them to remain calm, focused, and strong. Their wisdom is as relevant today as it was centuries ago, perhaps even more so. In today's fast-paced world, we are constantly bombarded with distractions and noise. Social media, news, work, relationships, everything competes for our attention, pulling us in 1,000 different directions. We are told that happiness comes from external achievements, the right job, the perfect relationship, the ideal lifestyle. But what if we've been looking in the wrong place? What if true peace and happiness come from within, from the way we think and the way we choose to respond to life? Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we react. This simple yet profound idea has the power to change everything. When you start focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your mindset, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming the author of your own life story. But how do we apply these ancient teachings in our modern lives? How do we transform our everyday experiences into opportunities for growth and peace? The answer lies in cultivating a set of habits and practices that align with Stoic principles. These are not complicated or time-consuming. They are simple yet powerful ways to shift your perspective and change your life. Think about the last time you faced a setback. Maybe it was a disappointment at work, a relationship that didn't work out, or an unexpected challenge that threw you off course. In that moment, it's easy to feel defeated, to let frustration and anger take over. But what if, instead, you saw that setback as an opportunity? What if you could learn to embrace challenges as stepping stones on your path to personal growth? This is one of the core lessons of Stoicism. Every obstacle is a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Now, imagine starting your day with a routine that sets you up for success. A routine that not only prepares you for the challenges ahead, but also grounds you in a sense of purpose and clarity. Stoicism offers simple morning practices that can help you cultivate unshakable focus and mental strength. By dedicating just a few minutes each morning to these practices, you can transform the way you approach your entire day. And it's not just about facing challenges or starting your day right. Stoicism teaches us the art of letting go, of releasing what we cannot control. How often do we hold on to things that only cause us pain? Whether it's a past mistake, someone else's opinion, or an outcome we desperately wanted, holding on can trap us in a cycle of stress and disappointment. But when we learn to let go, we free ourselves. We make space for peace, for acceptance, and for the things that truly matter. One of the most empowering aspects of Stoicism is its emphasis on being a rock for others. In a world full of uncertainty and change, being someone that others can rely on is a true gift. Stoicism teaches us how to become that steady presence, not by pretending to have all the answers, but by embodying the qualities of patience, strength, and wisdom. When you become this kind of person, you not only improve your own life, but also uplift those around you. Yet, as powerful as these teachings are, it's important to remember that Stoicism is not about forcing yourself to be a certain way. It's about allowing the principles to guide your life naturally, without force or struggle. This is a path of flow, not resistance. By aligning yourself with Stoic values, you learn to navigate life with grace, even when the waters get rough. We all have moments when we feel vulnerable, when life's challenges seem too big to handle. But Stoicism offers a way to cultivate an inner strength that can carry you through anything. It's about adopting a mindset where nothing can touch you, where you become invincible, not because you're ignoring reality, but because you've developed the resilience to face it head-on. Of course, this journey requires letting go of toxic patterns, those habits and mindsets that hold us back. Whether it's negative thinking, procrastination, or the fear of failure, Stoicism helps us identify and remove these obstacles, clearing the path for growth and success. It's a process of shedding the old and embracing the new, of transforming ourselves from the inside out. And as you begin to implement these practices in your life, you'll find that each day becomes more meaningful. You'll start to see the value in every moment, every experience. You'll learn to make each day count, not by cramming it with activities, but by living it fully, with intention and awareness. The wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's greatest figures, shows us how to maximize the value of our days with simple yet profound routines. Stoicism teaches us to be mindful of the people we surround ourselves with. Not everyone has a positive influence on our lives, and Stoicism warns us to be cautious about who we allow into our inner circle. By recognizing and avoiding negative influences, we create an environment that supports our growth and well-being. In the end, the journey you're about to embark on is one of transformation. It's about taking control of your life, your mind, and your destiny. It's about finding peace in a world of chaos, strength in moments of weakness, and clarity in times of confusion. Stoicism offers you the tools to make this transformation possible. All it takes is the willingness to learn, to apply these teachings, and to watch as your life begins to change in ways you never thought possible. As you begin to embrace Stoicism, there's a profound realization. Life, in its essence, is not about what happens to us, but how we respond to it. Each moment presents an opportunity to either react impulsively or to engage mindfully. The question is, what choice will you make when faced with adversity? By cultivating a set of powerful habits, you can ensure that no matter what happens around you, nothing can disturb your inner peace. One of the most crucial habits you can develop is mindfulness. In today's world, it's far too easy to get lost in distractions, whether it's the endless scrolling through social media, the constant bombardment of emails, or the stress of juggling multiple responsibilities. Our minds are rarely in the present. Instead, we're either worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. But what happens when we pull ourselves back to the present moment? When we practice mindfulness, we gain control over our thoughts and reactions. We become fully aware of the moment we're in, and we are able to engage with it deliberately. Imagine walking through a crowded city. The noise, the rush, and the chaos are all around you. People are pushing past, car horns are blaring, and your phone won't stop buzzing with notifications. It's easy to feel overwhelmed in moments like these, but practicing mindfulness allows you to focus on your breath, observe the world without judgment, and center yourself in the midst of the noise. You can detach from the chaos and create a calm space within, simply by choosing where to direct your attention. Another critical Stoic habit is the practice of focusing on what you can control. The Stoics famously divided life into two categories: things within our control and things outside of our control. Much of our stress and anxiety comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. Whether it's the actions of other people, the outcome of a situation, or even the weather, we often spend energy on things we have no power to change. Stoicism teaches us to shift our focus inward, to concentrate on what is within our power: our thoughts, our actions, and our attitudes. Let's say you're waiting to hear back about a job interview. It's natural to feel anxious about whether or not you'll get the job, but worrying won't affect the outcome. What you can control, however, is how you prepared for the interview, how you presented yourself, and how you handle the waiting process. You can choose to spend that time productively, perhaps working on your skills or focusing on self-improvement, instead of letting your peace be disturbed by things beyond your control. Gratitude is another Stoic habit that has the power to transform your life. It's easy to get caught up in what's wrong, what's missing, or what's not going as planned. But Stoicism teaches us to appreciate what we already have, to focus on the good in our lives, no matter how small. When you cultivate gratitude, you shift your perspective from lack to abundance. This shift not only brings more happiness, but also strengthens your resilience. When you can find things to be grateful for, even in the midst of hardship, you become unshakable. Consider this. At the end of a long, difficult day, it's tempting to focus on everything that went wrong. Perhaps you had a disagreement with a colleague, or you felt overwhelmed by your workload. But if you take a moment to reflect, you might realize that there were also things that went well. Perhaps you learned something new, received support from a friend, or even just enjoyed a few moments of peace during lunch. By practicing gratitude, you begin to see that even in the toughest times, there is always something to appreciate. Another powerful habit that Stoicism encourages is self-reflection. The Stoics were known for their commitment to continuous self-improvement, and they believed that regularly examining one's thoughts and actions was essential for growth. At the end of each day, they would reflect on what they did, how they reacted to situations, and where they could improve. This habit of self-reflection helps you stay aligned with your values and ensures that you are always moving forward in a positive direction. Imagine you're reflecting on a conversation that didn't go as well as you had hoped. Maybe you said something you regret, or maybe you didn't handle the situation with as much patience as you wanted to. Through self-reflection, instead of beating yourself up, you can learn from the experience. Ask yourself, what triggered that reaction? What can I do differently next time? This daily practice keeps you grounded, allowing you to continually refine how you engage with the world. Simplicity is another habit that brings immense peace. The Stoics believed that much of the complexity and stress in our lives comes from chasing after things we don't truly need. Whether it's material possessions, status, or recognition, these pursuits often complicate our lives without bringing lasting fulfillment. By embracing simplicity, you create space for what truly matters. You let go of the unnecessary and focus on what brings real joy and peace. For example, think about your home or workspace. Is it cluttered with things you don't use or need? This physical clutter often translates to mental clutter, making it harder to find peace. By simplifying your environment, getting rid of things that no longer serve you, and keeping only what adds value to your life, you create a calm and peaceful space. This simplicity also applies to your commitments. By saying no to things that don't align with your values, you make room for what truly matters. Patience is another Stoic habit that is essential for maintaining peace. Life is full of delays, obstacles, and setbacks, and it's easy to become frustrated when things don't go as planned. But Stoicism teaches us that patience is not about passively waiting. It's about enduring challenges with grace and understanding that everything unfolds in its own time. Practicing patience allows you to navigate life's ups and downs without losing your sense of calm. For instance, let's say you're working toward a goal, but progress is slower than you expected. It's easy to become impatient and want to rush the process, but by practicing patience, you remind yourself that growth takes time and that each step, no matter how small, is part of the journey. Patience allows you to appreciate the process rather than constantly striving for the end result. It keeps you grounded in the present, where peace resides. Another key Stoic habit is detachment from outcomes. The Stoics taught that while we can control our actions, we cannot control the results. This doesn't mean you stop caring or become indifferent, but rather that you don't let the outcome determine your peace of mind. Detachment allows you to give your best effort without becoming overly attached to how things turn out. Think about a situation where you worked hard on a project, but the outcome wasn't what you hoped for. It's easy to feel disappointed or even defeated, but by practicing detachment, you can accept that while the result wasn't what you wanted, you did your best, and that's what matters. Detachment frees you from the emotional roller coaster of success and failure, allowing you to remain centered no matter what happens. Building strong, supportive relationships is another habit that Stoicism encourages. While the Stoics emphasized self-sufficiency, they also recognized the importance of community. Surrounding yourself with people who share your values and support your growth is crucial for maintaining peace. These relationships serve as a source of strength during difficult times, providing perspective, encouragement, and understanding. Imagine having a circle of friends or family who lift you up, who understand your journey, and who offer support when you need it. These relationships don't just provide emotional comfort, they help you stay grounded and remind you that you're not alone. When challenges arise, having a community of like-minded individuals helps reinforce your resilience and peace. Finally, embracing change is a habit that is essential for maintaining peace. Change is an inevitable part of life, and resisting it only creates suffering. The Stoics understood that by accepting change and adapting to new circumstances, we can maintain our peace, even in the face of uncertainty. This doesn't mean you have to like every change, but it does mean you stop fighting against it and learn to flow with life's natural rhythms. For example, think about a major life transition, such as moving to a new city or starting a new job. These changes can be stressful and unsettling, but by embracing them, you open yourself up to new opportunities for growth. Change becomes less of a threat and more of an invitation to evolve. When you stop resisting the inevitable shifts in life, you create space for peace, allowing yourself to move forward with grace and confidence. As you integrate these Stoic habits into your daily life, you'll find that they don't just bring temporary moments of calm, they create a lasting sense of inner peace. Each habit builds upon the others, forming a solid foundation that allows you to remain resilient in the face of life's challenges. The world around you may be chaotic, but within, you can cultivate a space of tranquility that nothing can disturb. This journey of cultivating Stoic habits is not about achieving perfection or never feeling stressed again. It's about building the tools to handle whatever life throws your way with grace, calmness, and strength. By practicing mindfulness, focusing on what you can control, expressing gratitude, engaging in self-reflection, embracing simplicity, exercising patience, detaching from outcomes, fostering supportive relationships, and embracing change, you transform the way you live. You become the architect of your own inner peace, creating a life where nothing, not the chaos of the world, not the opinions of others, not the unpredictability of circumstances, can disturb your tranquility. In this process, you're not only transforming your own life, but also becoming a beacon of peace and stability for those around you. The strength and calm you cultivate within yourself naturally extend to others, helping to create a more peaceful world, one person at a time. This is the true power of Stoicism, not just as a philosophy, but as a way of life that brings lasting peace and fulfillment. And as you continue to live these habits day by day, you will discover that your inner peace is not just unshakable, it's transformative, radiating outward to touch every aspect of your life and the lives of those around you. As we continue our exploration of Stoic philosophy, it's essential to understand that life's challenges are not merely obstacles to be endured. They are, in fact, opportunities disguised as difficulties, offering us the chance to grow, to learn, and to transform. It's all about how we perceive and respond to these challenges. Life is filled with setbacks, moments that can knock us off balance and make us question our path. But what if these setbacks were not setbacks at all? What if, instead of viewing them as failures or defeats, we could reverse the script? What if every obstacle became a stepping stone, every failure a lesson in disguise? Imagine facing a significant setback, one that shakes the very foundation of your confidence. The immediate response might be to see this as a failure, as something that should not have happened. But Stoicism, particularly the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, offers us a different lens through which to view these moments. It encourages us to see setbacks not as dead ends, but as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. It's about turning adversity into advantage, about using the very things that challenge us to propel us forward in our journey. Take, for example, the story of a business professional who invests years into building a company only to see it collapse due to unforeseen circumstances. The natural reaction is one of despair, frustration, and perhaps even self-blame. But what if, instead of seeing this as the end of the road, this individual could view it as a new beginning? What if the collapse of the company was not a failure, but an opportunity to reassess, to innovate, and to start anew with lessons learned? This shift in perspective is at the heart of Stoic resilience. It's about seeing every setback as a lesson, every failure as a foundation for future success. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, often reminded himself that the obstacle is the way. This idea is central to Stoic philosophy. Whatever stands in the way becomes the path to growth. When faced with a challenge, the Stoic approach is not to avoid it or wish it away, but to confront it head-on, to embrace it as an essential part of the journey. Each difficulty we encounter is a chance to strengthen our character, to deepen our understanding, and to cultivate virtues that might otherwise remain dormant. Consider a young athlete who, after years of rigorous training, suffers a devastating injury that ends their competitive career. To many, this would seem like the end of a dream, a tragic conclusion to years of hard work. But what if, instead of giving up, the athlete decided to channel their passion into coaching, mentoring others with the knowledge and experience they've gained? The injury, once seen as a career-ending disaster, becomes the catalyst for a new, fulfilling path. This is not just about bouncing back, it's about transforming adversity into opportunity. This concept of reversing the script is not limited to grand life events. It applies equally to the small, everyday challenges that we all face. Imagine you're working on a project, and despite your best efforts, it doesn't turn out the way you hoped. The first reaction might be one of disappointment or frustration, but by applying Stoic principles, you can choose to see this experience as a valuable learning opportunity. What went wrong? What could you do differently next time? Instead of dwelling on the failure, you use it as a stepping stone to improve and grow. Marcus Aurelius also teaches us that setbacks are powerful tools for revealing our true character. It's easy to maintain composure when everything is going well, but it's in the face of difficulty that our real virtues are tested. When you encounter a setback, you have the opportunity to discover your inner strength, to see how much you can endure and still keep moving forward. This doesn't mean pretending that setbacks don't hurt or that they're easy to overcome. It means recognizing that within every challenge lies the potential for personal growth and self-discovery. Imagine a student who fails an important exam. The initial reaction might be one of disappointment, frustration, or even shame. But this moment of failure also offers a crucial lesson in humility, perseverance, and resilience. Instead of letting the failure define them, the student can use it as a motivation to study harder, seek help, and improve their understanding. The failure, rather than being an end, becomes a turning point that leads to greater success in the future. This approach not only helps the student grow academically, but also builds a mindset that views challenges as opportunities rather than threats. In our personal lives, setbacks in relationships can also serve as powerful catalysts for growth. A breakup or a falling out with a close friend can feel like a devastating loss. It's natural to grieve these losses, but it's also important to recognize the lessons they offer. These experiences provide an opportunity for deep reflection. What went wrong? What can you learn about yourself from this experience? How can you use this knowledge to improve your future relationships? By embracing the lessons that come from these painful experiences, you can move forward with a deeper sense of self-awareness and a stronger foundation for future relationships. Marcus Aurelius frequently reflected on the virtues that setbacks help us cultivate: patience, courage, empathy, and humility, among others. When we face adversity, we have a choice. We can allow it to make us bitter and angry, or we can use it to practice the virtues that define our character. Patience allows us to endure difficulties without losing our composure. Courage gives us the strength to face challenges head-on, even when the outcome is uncertain. Empathy helps us connect with others who may be going through similar struggles, fostering a sense of shared humanity. These virtues are not abstract ideals. They are practical tools that help us navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. Consider someone who faces a serious health crisis. The initial diagnosis may be overwhelming, filled with fear and uncertainty. But by approaching the situation with a Stoic mindset, this individual can choose to see the crisis as an opportunity to practice patience, courage, and acceptance. They might decide to focus on what they can control, following their treatment plan, staying positive, and seeking support from loved ones, while letting go of what they cannot control. This approach not only helps them navigate the health challenge, but also strengthens their inner resilience, making them more capable of facing future challenges with confidence. One of the most empowering aspects of Stoic philosophy is its emphasis on the power of perspective. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that how we view a situation determines how we experience it. A setback is only a setback if we see it that way. If we choose to view it as an opportunity, as a challenge to be overcome, it transforms into something entirely different. This shift in perspective is not about denying reality, but about choosing a response that empowers us rather than diminishes us. Imagine an artist who pours their heart into a new piece, only to receive harsh criticism from peers and critics. The initial reaction might be to feel crushed, to question their talent and vision. But by choosing to see the criticism as an opportunity for growth, the artist can use it to refine their skills, explore new techniques, and push their work in new directions. What could have been a moment of defeat becomes a catalyst for innovation and improvement. This approach to setbacks can be applied to every area of life. Whether you're facing challenges at work, in your personal life, or in your own mind, the Stoic strategy is to embrace these difficulties as part of your journey. Every obstacle is an opportunity to practice resilience, to deepen your understanding, and to grow in ways you might not have thought possible. This doesn't mean the journey will be easy, but it does mean that it will be meaningful. Reversing the script is also about taking control of your narrative. Too often, we let setbacks define our story, casting ourselves as victims of circumstance. But Marcus Aurelius teaches us to take ownership of our story, to become the authors of our own lives. When you face a setback, you have the power to decide what it means for you. Will it be a chapter of defeat, or will it be the moment where you find your strength and rewrite your path? Consider a person who loses their job unexpectedly. It's easy to see this as a major setback, and it is. But it can also be the moment that forces them to reconsider their career path, explore new opportunities, or even pursue a passion they've long neglected. By taking control of their narrative, they can turn what seems like a disaster into a new beginning, one that leads to greater fulfillment and success. This approach requires a deep sense of self-awareness and a commitment to growth. It's not about denying the pain of setbacks or pretending that everything is fine. It's about facing reality with courage and using every experience, good or bad, as a stepping stone toward a stronger, wiser self. This is the essence of Stoic resilience, the ability to turn adversity into advantage, to see every challenge as an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the transient nature of life, reminding himself that everything is temporary, including our setbacks. This perspective can be incredibly liberating. When you understand that setbacks are not permanent, that they too shall pass, it becomes easier to endure them with grace. You begin to see them as part of the ebb and flow of life, as necessary experiences that shape your character and contribute to your growth. Think about a time when you were facing a significant challenge. At the time, it may have felt overwhelming, as if there was no way out. But with the passage of time, you likely found a way through it. Perhaps you emerged stronger, wiser, or more resilient. This is the power of perspective, the understanding that no matter how difficult a situation may seem, it is not the end of your story. It is simply a chapter, one that will eventually lead to the next, better one. Embracing the unknown is another critical aspect of reversing the script. Setbacks often bring with them a sense of uncertainty, and it's natural to fear the unknown. But Stoicism teaches us to embrace uncertainty as part of life's adventure. When you face a setback, you don't always know where it will lead, but by trusting in your ability to adapt and grow, you can turn that uncertainty into possibility. Imagine a person who, after losing their job, decides to start their own business. They don't know what the future holds, and the road ahead is filled with uncertainty. But by embracing the unknown, by seeing it as an opportunity to create something new, they turn a setback into a stepping stone toward success. The uncertainty, instead of being a source of fear, becomes a source of excitement and possibility. This mindset also applies to personal growth. When you face setbacks in your personal life, whether it's a breakup, a loss, or a personal failure, it's easy to feel lost. But by embracing the unknown, by trusting in your ability to navigate through it, you open yourself up to new experiences and opportunities that you might never have encountered otherwise. The setback becomes not just a challenge to be overcome, but a doorway to new growth and understanding. Reversing the script is about transforming your relationship with adversity. It's about seeing setbacks not as something to be feared, but as something to be embraced. It's about understanding that every challenge, every failure, and every obstacle is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become a better version of yourself. This doesn't mean that setbacks will never hurt, or that they won't be difficult, but it does mean that you have the power to decide how they affect you and what you do with them. As you continue to apply these Stoic strategies, you'll find that setbacks lose their power over you. They become less about what went wrong and more about what you can make right. They become less about loss and more about opportunity. This shift in perspective is not just a mental exercise, it's a profound transformation in how you live your life. By reversing the script, you take control of your narrative, turning every setback into a stepping stone toward growth and success. Ultimately, this approach leads to a life of greater resilience, inner strength, and peace. You become someone who can face any challenge with confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the tools to turn it into something positive. This is the power of Stoicism, the ability to transform not just your circumstances, but your entire approach to life. And in doing so, you not only overcome setbacks, you thrive in the face of them, emerging stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled than ever before. As we continue to explore the transformative power of Stoic principles, it's important to recognize that how you start your day can set the tone for everything that follows. The morning hours, quiet and undisturbed by the demands of the day, offer a precious opportunity to cultivate focus, clarity, and resilience. These early moments are a canvas, waiting to be painted with intention and purpose. Imagine beginning each day not with a sense of dread or overwhelm, but with a calm, focused mind ready to take on whatever comes your way. This is the power of a well-crafted morning routine, rooted in the wisdom of Stoicism. Consider this. How often do we rush into the day, immediately caught up in the noise and chaos? We grab our phones, check our emails, scroll through social media, all before we've even had a moment to ourselves. In doing so, we surrender our focus and allow the outside world to dictate our thoughts, emotions, and actions. But what if, instead, we could reclaim those first moments of the day? What if we could start each morning with practices that ground us, sharpen our minds, and prepare us to face the day with unshakable focus? In the teachings of Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers, there is a deep emphasis on the importance of morning reflection and preparation. These early hours are seen as a time to align yourself with your values, to remind yourself of what truly matters, and to cultivate the mental clarity needed to navigate the challenges ahead. By integrating Stoic practices into your morning routine, you create a strong foundation for the day, one that keeps you centered no matter what distractions or difficulties arise. Imagine waking up each morning with a sense of purpose, knowing exactly how you want to start your day. Instead of rushing into the chaos, you take deliberate steps to prepare your mind and body for the tasks ahead. You engage in practices that not only enhance your focus, but also bring a sense of peace and clarity. These moments of intentional preparation allow you to face the day with confidence, knowing that your mind is sharp, your emotions are balanced, and your spirit is resilient. One of the most powerful ways to begin your day is through mindful reflection. In Stoic practice, this often involves taking a few moments in the morning to set your intentions and remind yourself of your principles. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, would often reflect on the day ahead, mentally preparing himself for whatever challenges might come. He understood that the mind, like the body, needs to be conditioned and prepared. By starting your day with reflection, you anchor yourself in your values and ensure that your actions align with your deeper purpose. Imagine sitting quietly in the early morning light before the world has fully awakened. You take a few deep breaths, letting the stillness of the moment wash over you. As you breathe, you reflect on the day ahead. What challenges might you face? What opportunities for growth will arise? How can you approach each moment with patience, courage, and wisdom? These reflections are not about predicting the future, but about preparing your mind to meet it with a calm and focused spirit. Another essential morning practice is the cultivation of gratitude. While gratitude is often seen as something to be practiced in the evening, reflecting on what you're grateful for in the morning can set a positive tone for the entire day. By starting your day with gratitude, you shift your focus away from what's lacking and toward what's abundant in your life. This simple practice not only enhances your mood, but also sharpens your focus by reminding you of the things that truly matter. Imagine beginning your day by thinking about the people you love, the opportunities you have, and the small joys that make life meaningful. This practice doesn't take much time. Just a few moments of reflection can make a significant difference. When you start your day with gratitude, you create a mindset of abundance, which helps you approach your tasks with a positive and focused attitude. Physical movement is another powerful component of a Stoic morning routine. The Stoics believed in the importance of taking care of the body as well as the mind. Physical exercise, whether it's a brisk walk, a session of stretching, or a more intense workout, helps to wake up the body and prepare it for the day's challenges. This practice not only boosts your energy levels, but also sharpens your mental focus. When the body is active, the mind becomes more alert, and you're better able to concentrate on the tasks at hand. Imagine stepping outside in the early morning, feeling the cool air on your skin as you take a walk. The world is still quiet, and with each step, you feel your body waking up, your mind becoming clearer. The movement energizes you, and as you walk, you have time to think, to reflect, and to mentally prepare for the day ahead. This practice not only sets a positive tone for the day, but also ensures that you're physically and mentally ready to take on whatever comes your way. In addition to physical movement, the Stoics placed a great deal of emphasis on simplicity and order. A cluttered environment can lead to a cluttered mind, and this is especially true in the morning when you're setting the tone for the day. By starting your day with a simple and orderly routine, you reduce distractions and create a calm space for focused thought. This might involve tidying up your surroundings, organizing your tasks, or simply taking a few moments to clear your mind of unnecessary worries. Imagine starting your day with a clean and organized space. Your desk is tidy, your tasks are laid out clearly, and there are no unnecessary distractions. This sense of order extends to your mind as well. You've taken a few moments to clear away the mental clutter, to let go of any lingering worries or concerns from the previous day. With this sense of simplicity and order, you're able to focus more deeply on the tasks ahead without being pulled in a dozen different directions. Another key practice is setting clear intentions for the day. The Stoics believed in the importance of living with purpose, and this begins with knowing what you want to achieve each day. By taking a few moments in the morning to set your intentions, you give yourself a clear direction and focus. These intentions don't have to be grand or complex. They can be as simple as deciding to approach the day with patience, to stay focused on a particular task, or to practice kindness in your interactions with others. Imagine starting your day by setting a clear intention. You decide that today you will approach every task with patience, no matter how challenging it might be. This simple decision gives you a sense of purpose and direction, guiding your actions throughout the day. Each time you face a challenge, you remind yourself of your intention, and it helps you stay focused and calm. This practice not only enhances your productivity, but also brings a deeper sense of meaning to your daily activities. Mindful breathing is another powerful practice to incorporate into your morning routine. The Stoics understood the connection between breath and mind. By practicing mindful breathing, you bring your attention fully into the present moment, calming your mind and preparing it for focused work. This practice can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths, inhaling slowly and deeply, and then exhaling fully. Each breath helps to clear the mind, to center your thoughts, and to prepare you for the day ahead. Imagine sitting quietly in the morning, closing your eyes, and taking a deep breath in. You feel the air fill your lungs, bringing with it a sense of calm and clarity. As you exhale, you let go of any tension or stress, allowing your mind to settle into a state of focus. Each breath brings you deeper into the present moment, grounding you in the here and now. With each breath, your mind becomes clearer, your focus sharper, and you're ready to take on the day with a calm and steady mind. Another important practice is reading or reflection. The Stoics were avid readers and believed in the power of learning and reflection to shape the mind. Starting your day with a few minutes of reading or reflecting on Stoic teachings can help set a positive and focused tone for the day. Whether it's a passage from Marcus Aurelius, a reflection on your own goals and values, or simply a quiet moment of contemplation, this practice helps to align your thoughts with your deeper purpose. Imagine picking up a book in the morning, reading a passage that resonates with you, and then taking a few moments to reflect on its meaning. This practice doesn't have to be long. Just a few minutes can be enough to inspire you and set a positive tone for the day. As you reflect, you think about how you can apply the teachings to your own life, how you can use the wisdom of the Stoics to navigate the challenges ahead. This simple practice not only sharpens your mind, but also connects you with the deeper principles that guide your actions. Journaling is another powerful morning practice that the Stoics valued. Writing down your thoughts, reflections, and intentions for the day can help to clarify your mind and focus your energy. This practice allows you to organize your thoughts, to set your priorities, and to reflect on what matters most. Whether you're writing about your goals for the day, reflecting on a challenge you're facing, or simply recording your thoughts and feelings, journaling helps to create a sense of clarity and purpose. Imagine sitting down in the morning with a journal, taking a few moments to write down your thoughts and intentions for the day. As you write, you feel your mind becoming clearer, your focus sharper. The act of writing helps you to organize your thoughts, to see your goals more clearly, and to set your priorities for the day. This practice not only enhances your mental clarity, but also helps you to stay focused and grounded throughout the day. Another practice that can enhance your morning routine is visualization. The Stoics believed in the power of the mind to shape reality, and visualization is a way to harness this power. By taking a few moments in the morning to visualize your day, to see yourself navigating challenges with grace and focus, you set a positive and intentional tone for the day. This practice helps to align your thoughts with your actions, creating a sense of purpose and direction. Imagine closing your eyes in the morning and visualizing your day ahead. You see yourself moving through each task with focus and clarity, handling challenges with patience and resilience. You visualize the outcomes you want to achieve, the person you want to be, and the actions you need to take to get there. This practice not only enhances your focus, but also creates a sense of confidence and determination, helping you to navigate the day with purpose and clarity. Meditation is another powerful Stoic practice to incorporate into your morning routine. The Stoics believed in the importance of cultivating a calm and focused mind, and meditation is one of the most effective ways to achieve this. By taking a few moments in the morning to meditate, you create a sense of inner peace and clarity that carries you through the day. This practice helps to calm the mind, to focus the thoughts, and to prepare you for the challenges ahead. Imagine sitting quietly in the morning, closing your eyes, and focusing on your breath. As you meditate, you feel your mind becoming calmer, your thoughts more focused. Each breath brings you deeper into a state of calm and clarity, preparing you to face the day with unshakable focus. This practice not only enhances your mental clarity, but also creates a sense of inner peace that stays with you throughout the day. Another key component of a Stoic morning routine is the practice of setting boundaries. In a world that is constantly demanding our attention, it's important to set boundaries that protect your focus and mental clarity. This might involve setting limits on your use of technology, creating a quiet space for reflection, or simply saying no to distractions that pull you away from your priorities. By setting boundaries, you create a space where you can focus on what truly matters, without being pulled in a dozen different directions. Imagine starting your day by setting clear boundaries for yourself. You decide that you won't check your phone until after you've completed your morning routine, that you'll create a quiet space for reflection, and that you'll focus on your most important tasks before getting caught up in the demands of the day. These boundaries help to protect your focus and mental clarity, allowing you to start your day with intention and purpose. Finally, another important practice to incorporate into your morning routine is the cultivation of stillness. In a world that is constantly moving, constantly demanding our attention, it's important to create moments of stillness where you can connect with yourself and your deeper purpose. This might involve sitting quietly, reflecting on your goals and values, or simply taking a few moments to breathe and center yourself. By cultivating stillness, you create a space where you can connect with your inner self and prepare for the day with calm and clarity. Imagine sitting quietly in the morning, feeling the stillness of the moment wash over you. As you sit, you reflect on your goals, your values, and your purpose. This stillness helps you to connect with yourself, to center your thoughts, and to prepare for the day with calm and clarity. This practice not only enhances your mental focus, but also creates a sense of inner peace that stays with you throughout the day. By incorporating these practices into your morning routine, you create a powerful foundation for the day ahead. Each practice helps to sharpen your focus, enhance your mental clarity, and prepare you to face the day with unshakable resilience. Whether it's mindful reflection, gratitude, physical movement, or any of the other practices discussed, each one contributes to a morning routine that sets a positive and intentional tone for the day. This is the power of a Stoic morning routine. It's not just about getting through the day, but about thriving in it, with a clear mind, a focused spirit, and a calm, resilient heart. As we delve deeper into the essence of Stoicism, it becomes clear that one of the greatest sources of inner turmoil is our tendency to cling to things beyond our control. We hold on tightly, whether it's to past mistakes, the opinions of others, or outcomes we desperately desire, only to find that the tighter we grip, the more elusive peace becomes. Imagine a life where you no longer waste energy on what you cannot change, where your mind is free from the anxieties that arise from trying to control the uncontrollable. This is the Stoic art of letting go, a practice that not only liberates you, but also brings you closer to a state of profound inner peace. In the quiet moments of reflection, have you ever noticed how much of your stress stems from things that lie outside your control? Perhaps it's a decision someone else made that affects you, or a situation that didn't turn out the way you wanted. You replay these events over and over in your mind, wishing they were different, yet knowing deep down that you cannot change them. This inner conflict, this refusal to let go, drains your energy and disturbs your peace. But what if you could release these burdens? What if you could accept what is, without resistance, and find peace in the flow of life? The Stoics understood that clinging to what we cannot control is a futile exercise, one that only leads to suffering. They taught that true wisdom lies in recognizing the limits of our control and learning to let go of the rest. This doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. It means shifting your focus to what you can influence, your thoughts, actions, and attitudes, while releasing your attachment to everything else. It's about finding freedom in acceptance and strength in surrender. Consider the countless hours we spend worrying about things that are beyond our reach. Perhaps it's the outcome of a job interview, a relationship that's drifting apart, or the fear of an uncertain future. We invest so much of our emotional energy into these concerns, trying to bend reality to our will, only to find ourselves frustrated and exhausted when things don't go our way. But what if, instead of fighting against the current, we learned to let go? What if we accepted that some things are simply not ours to control, and in that acceptance found peace? Imagine the relief that comes with releasing the need to control the uncontrollable. You no longer feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, no longer carry the burden of trying to manage every outcome. Instead, you focus on what you can do, on the choices you can make, and let go of the rest. This shift in perspective not only reduces stress, but also empowers you to live more fully in the present moment, free from the anxieties of what might happen tomorrow. One of the most profound lessons in letting go is understanding that the past is beyond your control. How often do we dwell on past mistakes, replaying them in our minds as if we could change the outcome? We carry the weight of regret, wishing we had acted differently, said something else, or made another choice. But the past is fixed, unchangeable, no matter how much we wish otherwise. The Stoics teach us that to find peace, we must release the past, accepting it for what it is, a series of lessons that have brought us to where we are today. Imagine freeing yourself from the grip of past mistakes. Instead of being haunted by what you cannot change, you view your past as a teacher, offering valuable lessons that have shaped your journey. You let go of regret and guilt, recognizing that these emotions only serve to keep you trapped in a time that no longer exists. By releasing the past, you open yourself to the possibilities of the present, allowing yourself to move forward with greater clarity and peace. Letting go also applies to the opinions and judgments of others. How often do we find ourselves affected by what others think of us, altering our actions and decisions based on their approval or disapproval? This need for validation can become a prison where our sense of self-worth is tied to the perceptions of those around us. The Stoics remind us that we cannot control what others think, nor should we try. Our true value comes from within, from living in accordance with our principles and values, regardless of external opinions. Imagine the freedom that comes with releasing the need for approval. You no longer feel the pressure to conform to others' expectations or to seek their validation. Instead, you focus on what truly matters, living a life of integrity, guided by your own inner compass. By letting go of the opinions of others, you reclaim your power, allowing yourself to live authentically and fully, without the burden of trying to please everyone. Another key aspect of letting go is releasing attachment to specific outcomes. We often set our hearts on a particular result, investing all our hopes and energy into making it happen. But life is unpredictable, and despite our best efforts, things don't always turn out the way we planned. The Stoics teach that while we should strive to do our best, we must also be willing to accept whatever outcome arises, knowing that it is beyond our control. Imagine pursuing your goals with dedication and passion, but without the fear of failure or the desperation for a specific outcome. You do your best, put in the effort, and then let go, trusting that whatever happens is exactly as it should be. This mindset frees you from the anxiety and stress that often accompany the pursuit of goals, allowing you to enjoy the journey without being consumed by the need for a particular result. The practice of letting go also extends to the future. We often find ourselves caught in the trap of worrying about what might happen, projecting our fears and anxieties onto a future that has yet to unfold. This preoccupation with the unknown can rob us of the joy and peace available in the present moment. The Stoics remind us that the future is beyond our control and that worrying about it serves no purpose. Instead, we should focus on the present, on the choices we can make today, and trust that the future will take care of itself. Imagine living without the constant worry of what might happen tomorrow. Instead of being consumed by anxiety about the future, you focus on making the most of today, on taking actions that align with your values and goals. You trust that by living fully in the present, you are preparing yourself for whatever the future may bring. This approach not only reduces stress, but also enhances your ability to enjoy and appreciate the life you are living right now. Letting go is not about resignation or passivity. It's about embracing the flow of life with grace and acceptance. It's about recognizing that there are things you can control and things you cannot, and choosing to focus your energy on the former while releasing the latter. This practice requires a shift in mindset, a willingness to surrender the need for control and to trust in the natural unfolding of life. But in this surrender, there is great strength and freedom. Imagine the peace that comes with accepting life as it is, without trying to force it into your desired mold. You no longer resist the natural ebb and flow of events, but instead move with them, adapting and responding with calm and clarity. This acceptance doesn't mean you don't strive for improvement or growth. It means you do so without attachment, knowing that true peace comes from within, not from external circumstances. Another important aspect of letting go is releasing the need to be right. How often do we find ourselves in conflicts or arguments, driven by the need to prove our point or defend our position? This need to be right can create tension and strain in our relationships as we become more focused on winning the argument than on understanding the other person. The Stoics remind us that being right is often less important than being kind, and that sometimes the greatest strength lies in letting go of the need to have the final word. Imagine the relief that comes with letting go of the need to be right. In a conflict, instead of escalating the argument, you choose to listen, to understand, and to respond with empathy. You recognize that winning the argument is not as important as maintaining peace and harmony in your relationships. By letting go of the need to be right, you open the door to greater understanding, connection, and mutual respect. Letting go also means releasing the attachment to material possessions and external achievements. We often measure our worth by what we have or what we've accomplished, believing that these things define our value. But the Stoics teach that true worth comes from within, from the character and virtues we cultivate, not from the external trappings of success. By letting go of the attachment to material possessions and achievements, we free ourselves from the constant pursuit of more, allowing us to find contentment in the present moment. Imagine living with a sense of contentment, regardless of what you have or have not achieved. You no longer feel the need to constantly strive for more, but instead appreciate what you have, recognizing that your true value lies in your character, not in your possessions or accomplishments. This shift in perspective brings a deep sense of peace and fulfillment as you let go of the need for external validation and find contentment in who you are. The practice of letting go also involves releasing the fear of change. Change is an inevitable part of life, yet we often resist it, clinging to the familiar out of fear of the unknown. This resistance to change can create stress and anxiety as we struggle to hold on to what is slipping away. The Stoics teach that change is a natural part of life's flow, and that by embracing it, we can find growth and renewal in the midst of uncertainty. Imagine facing change with a sense of openness and curiosity, rather than fear and resistance. You no longer cling to the past or the familiar, but instead welcome new experiences and opportunities for growth. This acceptance of change brings a sense of freedom and resilience as you learn to adapt and thrive in an ever-changing world. Another important lesson in letting go is releasing the need to control others. We often find ourselves trying to influence or control the actions and decisions of those around us, believing that we know what's best for them. This need for control can create tension and conflict in our relationships as we impose our will on others. The Stoics remind us that we cannot control others, and that true respect and love involve allowing others the freedom to make their own choices. Imagine the peace that comes with letting go of the need to control others. You no longer feel the pressure to manage or direct the actions of those around you, but instead allow them the space to make their own decisions. This practice fosters greater trust and respect in your relationships, as you honor the autonomy and individuality of those you care about. Finally, letting go means releasing the fear of failure. We often hold ourselves back from pursuing our dreams or taking risks because we are afraid of failing. This fear can keep us trapped in our comfort zones, preventing us from reaching our full potential. The Stoics teach that failure is not something to be feared, but rather an essential part of the learning and growth process. By letting go of the fear of failure, we open ourselves to new possibilities and opportunities for growth. Imagine approaching life with the courage to take risks and pursue your dreams without the fear of failure holding you back. You recognize that failure is not the end, but rather a stepping stone to success. This mindset frees you to explore new paths, to learn from your mistakes, and to grow in ways you never thought possible. In essence, the Stoic art of letting go is about embracing the flow of life with grace and acceptance. It's about recognizing the limits of your control and focusing on what truly matters, your thoughts, actions, and character. By letting go of what you cannot control, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and anxiety, allowing yourself to live more fully in the present moment. This practice brings a deep sense of peace and freedom as you learn to move with the natural rhythms of life rather than against them. As you continue to cultivate the practice of letting go, you'll find that it not only enhances your sense of inner peace, but also strengthens your resilience. You become more adaptable, more open to change, and more capable of navigating life's challenges with calm and clarity. This is the power of Stoicism, teaching us to let go of what we cannot control, to focus on what we can, and to find peace in the process. By embracing this practice, you open the door to a life of greater freedom, fulfillment, and serenity, where you can face whatever comes your way with a calm and steady heart. As we continue to explore the depth of Stoic wisdom, one truth becomes increasingly clear. Much of our suffering stems from our attempts to control the uncontrollable. We cling to things that are beyond our influence, whether it's past regrets, future anxieties, or the actions and opinions of others. This need to control what we cannot ultimately leads to frustration, stress, and inner turmoil. But what if the path to true peace lies in learning to let go? Imagine the liberation that comes from releasing these burdens, the serenity that follows when you accept life as it is, rather than how you wish it to be. This is the essence of the Stoic practice of letting go. Every day we encounter situations that test our ability to accept what is, whether it's a relationship that isn't progressing as we hoped, a career that's not unfolding as planned, or the simple everyday frustrations that arise from dealing with others. We often find ourselves battling against forces that are beyond our control. This resistance, this refusal to let go, is the root of much of our distress. But what if we could learn to let go of these struggles? What if we could find peace in acceptance and grace in surrender? Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, understood that much of life is beyond our control. He taught that true wisdom lies in recognizing the limits of our influence and focusing on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes, while letting go of the rest. This doesn't mean becoming passive or indifferent. It means accepting reality as it is and directing our energy toward what truly matters. By doing so, we free ourselves from the unnecessary stress and anxiety that come from trying to control the uncontrollable. Think about the countless hours you may have spent worrying about things that were ultimately beyond your control. Perhaps it was a job interview, a difficult conversation, or a relationship issue. You might have replayed the situation over and over in your mind, wishing you could change the outcome, fix the situation, or make things different. But no amount of worry or wishful thinking can change the past or control the future. The Stoics teach us that to find peace, we must release these burdens and focus on what we can actually influence. Imagine the relief that comes with letting go of past mistakes. We all have moments we wish we could undo, decisions we regret, and actions we would take back if we could. But the past is fixed, unchangeable, no matter how much we wish otherwise. The Stoics teach us that to find peace, we must release the grip of the past and accept it for what it is, a series of lessons that have brought us to where we are today. Instead of being haunted by what we cannot change, we can learn to view our past as a teacher, offering valuable lessons that guide our journey forward. For example, consider someone who made a poor financial decision that led to significant debt. The natural reaction might be to dwell on this mistake, to constantly replay the scenario in their mind, thinking about what they could have done differently. This rumination not only causes ongoing stress, but also prevents them from moving forward. However, by accepting that the decision was made and cannot be undone, they can shift their focus to what they can control, finding ways to manage and eventually overcome the debt. By letting go of the past, they free themselves to focus on the present and future solutions. Another powerful lesson in letting go is releasing the need for external validation. We often find ourselves trapped by the opinions of others, altering our actions and decisions in pursuit of their approval. This need for validation can become a prison where our sense of self-worth is tied to how others perceive us. The Stoics remind us that we cannot control what others think of us, nor should we try. Our true value comes from within, from living in accordance with our principles and values, regardless of external opinions. Imagine the freedom that comes with releasing the need for approval. You no longer feel the pressure to conform to others' expectations or to seek their validation. Instead, you focus on what truly matters, living a life of integrity, guided by your own inner compass. By letting go of the opinions of others, you reclaim your power, allowing yourself to live authentically and fully, without the burden of trying to please everyone. Consider a scenario where a person is passionate about pursuing a career in the arts, but their family disapproves, believing that a more practical career would be better. The pressure to conform to family expectations can be overwhelming, leading to a life of compromise and dissatisfaction. However, by letting go of the need for their family's approval, this person can follow their true passion, living a life that is authentic and fulfilling. This doesn't mean they don't care about their family's opinions, but rather that they no longer let those opinions dictate their life choices. Another key aspect of letting go is releasing attachment to specific outcomes. We often set our hearts on a particular result, investing all our hopes and energy into making it happen. But life is unpredictable, and despite our best efforts, things don't always turn out the way we planned. The Stoics teach that while we should strive to do our best, we must also be willing to accept whatever outcome arises, knowing that it is beyond our control. Imagine pursuing your goals with dedication and passion, but without the fear of failure or the desperation for a specific outcome. You do your best, put in the effort, and then let go, trusting that whatever happens is exactly as it should be. This mindset frees you from the anxiety and stress that often accompany the pursuit of goals, allowing you to enjoy the journey without being consumed by the need for a particular result. For instance, a person might be working hard to get a promotion at work, investing long hours and energy into proving themselves. Despite their efforts, the promotion goes to someone else. The initial reaction might be one of disappointment or frustration, but by embracing the Stoic principle of letting go, this person can shift their perspective. Instead of focusing on the outcome they didn't achieve, they can recognize the skills and experience gained along the way and see how these will serve them in the future. By letting go of the attachment to a specific outcome, they can continue to grow and develop without being hindered by the disappointment of not getting the promotion. The future is another area where our desire for control often leads to anxiety. We project our fears and worries onto a future that has yet to unfold, robbing ourselves of the peace that comes from living in the present. The Stoics remind us that the future is beyond our control and that worrying about it serves no purpose. Instead, we should focus on the present, on the choices we can make today, and trust that the future will take care of itself. Imagine living without the constant worry of what might happen tomorrow. Instead of being consumed by anxiety about the future, you focus on making the most of today, trusting that by living fully in the present, you are preparing yourself for whatever the future may bring. This approach not only reduces stress, but also enhances your ability to enjoy and appreciate the life you are living right now. Consider someone who is constantly anxious about their health, always worrying about what might go wrong in the future. This worry can lead to a life dominated by fear, where the joy of the present moment is overshadowed by concerns about what might happen. By adopting the Stoic practice of letting go, this person can shift their focus to what they can control, eating healthily, exercising, and following medical advice, while letting go of the constant fear of future illness. This not only improves their quality of life, but also allows them to live with greater peace and contentment. Letting go is not about resignation or passivity. It's about embracing the flow of life with grace and acceptance. It's about recognizing that there are things you can control and things you cannot, and choosing to focus your energy on the former while releasing the latter. This practice requires a shift in mindset, a willingness to surrender the need for control and to trust in the natural unfolding of life. But in this surrender, there is great strength and freedom. Imagine the peace that comes with accepting life as it is, without trying to force it into your desired mold. You no longer resist the natural ebb and flow of events, but instead move with them, adapting and responding with calm and clarity. This acceptance doesn't mean you don't strive for improvement or growth. It means you do so without attachment, knowing that true peace comes from within, not from external circumstances. Another important aspect of letting go is releasing the need to be right. How often do we find ourselves in conflicts or arguments, driven by the need to prove our point or defend our position? This need to be right can create tension and strain in our relationships, as we become more focused on winning the argument than on understanding the other person. The Stoics remind us that being right is often less important than being kind, and that sometimes the greatest strength lies in letting go of the need to have the final word. Imagine the relief that comes with letting go of the need to be right. In a conflict, instead of escalating the argument, you choose to listen, to understand, and to respond with empathy. You recognize that winning the argument is not as important as maintaining peace and harmony in your relationships. By letting go of the need to be right, you open the door to greater understanding, connection, and mutual respect. Consider a situation where two colleagues disagree on how to approach a project. The disagreement escalates, with both sides becoming more entrenched in their positions. However, one of the colleagues, embracing the Stoic principle of letting go, decides to focus on finding a solution rather than proving they are right. By stepping back and listening to the other person's perspective, they are able to find common ground and work together more effectively. This not only resolves the conflict, but also strengthens their working relationship. We often measure our worth by what we have or what we've accomplished, believing that these things define our value. But the Stoics teach that true worth comes from within, from the character and virtues we cultivate, not from the external trappings of success. By letting go of the attachment to material possessions and achievements, we free ourselves from the constant pursuit of more, allowing us to find contentment in the present moment. Imagine living with a sense of contentment, regardless of what you have or have not achieved. You no longer feel the need to constantly strive for more, but instead appreciate what you have, recognizing that your true value lies in your character, not in your possessions or accomplishments. This shift in perspective brings a deep sense of peace and fulfillment as you let go of the need for external validation and find contentment in who you are. Consider someone who has spent years climbing the corporate ladder, accumulating wealth and status. Despite their success, they feel unfulfilled, constantly striving for the next achievement. By embracing the Stoic principle of letting go, they begin to focus on what truly matters: relationships, personal growth, and inner peace, rather than external accomplishments. This shift in focus brings them a sense of fulfillment and contentment that they had been missing, even amidst their material success. Change is an inevitable part of life, yet we often resist it, clinging to the familiar out of fear of the unknown. This resistance to change can create stress and anxiety as we struggle to hold on to what is slipping away. The Stoics teach that change is a natural part of life's flow, and that by embracing it, we can find growth and renewal in the midst of uncertainty. Imagine facing change with a sense of openness and curiosity, rather than fear and resistance. You no longer cling to the past or the familiar, but instead welcome new experiences and opportunities for growth. This acceptance of change brings a sense of freedom and resilience as you learn to adapt and thrive in an ever-changing world. For example, consider someone who is forced to move to a new city for work. Initially, they may resist the change, feeling anxious about leaving behind the familiar and starting anew. However, by embracing the Stoic practice of letting go, they begin to see the move as an opportunity for growth, a chance to meet new people, explore new surroundings, and develop new skills. This shift in perspective not only reduces their anxiety, but also allows them to make the most of their new situation. In relationships, too, the need to control others often leads to tension and conflict. We may try to influence or direct the actions of those around us, believing that we know what's best for them. But the Stoics remind us that we cannot control others, and that true respect and love involve allowing others the freedom to make their own choices. Imagine the peace that comes with letting go of the need to control others. You no longer feel the pressure to manage or direct the actions of those around you, but instead allow them the space to make their own decisions. This practice fosters greater trust and respect in your relationships, as you honor the autonomy and individuality of those you care about. Consider a parent who struggles to let go as their child becomes an adult. They may try to influence their child's choices, believing they know what's best. However, by embracing the Stoic principle of letting go, the parent learns to trust their child's ability to make their own decisions. This not only strengthens their relationship, but also empowers the child to grow and thrive as an independent individual. The fear of failure is another powerful force that often holds us back from pursuing our dreams or taking risks. This fear can keep us trapped in our comfort zones, preventing us from reaching our full potential. The Stoics teach that failure is not something to be feared, but rather an essential part of the learning and growth process. By letting go of the fear of failure, we open ourselves to new possibilities and opportunities for growth. Imagine approaching life with the courage to take risks and pursue your dreams, without the fear of failure holding you back. You recognize that failure is not the end, but rather a stepping stone to success. This mindset frees you to explore new paths, to learn from your mistakes, and to grow in ways you never thought possible. Consider an entrepreneur who hesitates to launch a new business because they fear it might fail. By embracing the Stoic principle of letting go, they learn to see failure as a valuable learning experience, rather than something to be avoided at all costs. This shift in perspective gives them the courage to take the leap, knowing that even if they fail, they will gain valuable insights that will help them succeed in the future. The practice of letting go is about embracing the flow of life with grace and acceptance. It's about recognizing the limits of your control and focusing on what truly matters: your thoughts, actions, and character. By letting go of what you cannot control, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and anxiety, allowing yourself to live more fully in the present moment. This practice brings a deep sense of peace and freedom as you learn to move with the natural rhythms of life rather than against them. As you continue to cultivate the practice of letting go, you'll find that it not only enhances your sense of inner peace, but also strengthens your resilience. You become more adaptable, more open to change, and more capable of navigating life's challenges with calm and clarity. This is the power of Stoicism, teaching us to let go of what we cannot control, to focus on what we can, and to find peace in the process. By embracing this practice, you open the door to a life of greater freedom, fulfillment, and serenity, where you can face whatever comes your way with a calm and steady heart. As you begin to master the art of letting go, something profound starts to happen. You find yourself becoming a source of calm in a world often driven by chaos. The inner peace that grows from accepting what you cannot control doesn't just benefit you. It ripples outward, touching the lives of those around you. Imagine being the person others turn to in times of uncertainty, the one who remains steady and unshaken, regardless of the storms that rage. This is the essence of becoming the rock that everyone leans on, and it's a role rooted deeply in Stoic wisdom. In a world that is constantly shifting, where change is the only constant, people crave stability. They look for anchors, individuals who can provide a sense of security and trust. But what does it mean to be this kind of person? It's not about having all the answers or fixing everyone's problems. It's about embodying qualities that bring comfort and reassurance to others, even when everything around them feels uncertain. It's about being a source of strength that others can rely on, not through sheer force or dominance, but through calm, thoughtful presence. Imagine a friend who is going through a difficult time. They feel overwhelmed, lost in their own thoughts and emotions, unsure of where to turn. When they reach out to you, they're not necessarily looking for solutions. They're seeking the stability that comes from knowing you're there, grounded and composed. This is what it means to be the rock, a presence that others can depend on, not because you can fix their problems, but because you help them find their own center. The Stoics teach us that true strength comes not from controlling others or circumstances, but from mastering ourselves. It's about cultivating the kind of inner resilience that allows us to remain calm and composed, even in the face of adversity. This strength is not just for our own benefit. It serves as a foundation for others, offering them a sense of security and stability in their own lives. Think of the people in your life who have been your rock, those who stood by you during tough times, offering support not through grand gestures, but through their unwavering presence. These are the individuals who embody Stoic principles, whether they realize it or not. They understand that being there for others doesn't require solving all their problems, but rather providing a safe space where they can find clarity and strength. To become this kind of person, it's essential to develop a set of principles that guide your actions and reactions. These principles, grounded in Stoic philosophy, are the bedrock upon which you can build the stability that others will come to rely on. It's about being consistent, reliable, and most importantly, calm in the face of whatever life throws at you. This calm doesn't mean being emotionless or indifferent. It means maintaining a sense of perspective that allows you to respond to challenges with wisdom and grace. One of the key aspects of being a rock for others is cultivating patience. Life is full of situations that test our patience, whether it's dealing with difficult people, facing delays and setbacks, or simply managing the everyday frustrations that arise. The Stoics remind us that patience is not just about waiting, it's about maintaining our composure and sense of purpose while we wait. When others see that you can remain calm and patient in the face of challenges, it reassures them that they too can navigate their own difficulties with grace. Imagine a situation where a colleague is overwhelmed with stress and anxiety about a looming deadline. They're panicking, feeling like everything is spiraling out of control. As someone who embodies Stoic principles, you approach the situation with calmness and patience. You listen to their concerns without getting swept up in their anxiety. By simply being there, steady and composed, you help them regain their own sense of calm and focus, making the task ahead seem more manageable. Another critical aspect of being the rock is cultivating empathy. While it's important to remain composed and rational, it's equally important to connect with others on an emotional level. Empathy allows you to understand what others are going through, to feel their pain and struggles without becoming overwhelmed by them. This balance between empathy and composure is what makes you a true source of support. You can be there for others without losing yourself in their problems, offering a steady hand that helps guide them through their challenges. Imagine a friend going through a difficult breakup. They're emotional, hurt, and struggling to make sense of their feelings. As a Stoic presence in their life, you offer empathy, you listen, you acknowledge their pain, but you also help them see that this pain, like all things, will pass. You don't try to fix their feelings or rush them through their grief. Instead, you provide the space for them to process their emotions while gently reminding them of their own inner strength and resilience. Being a rock also means being reliable. In a world where so much is uncertain, reliability is a rare and valuable trait. It means showing up when you say you will, following through on your commitments, and being someone others can count on, no matter what. This reliability builds trust, and trust is the foundation of any strong relationship. When others know they can depend on you, it gives them the confidence to face their own challenges, knowing they have someone in their corner who won't let them down. Imagine a scenario where a family member is facing a crisis. They call you, needing help, or simply someone to talk to. Because you've cultivated reliability, they know that you'll be there for them, just as you've always been. This trust doesn't come from grand gestures, but from the small, consistent actions that show you're dependable. In their time of need, your steady presence provides the reassurance they need to face their challenges. Another key component of being a stable presence for others is maintaining a sense of perspective. Life is full of ups and downs, and it's easy to get caught up in the drama of the moment. But the Stoics teach us that most things are not as dire as they seem in the heat of the moment. By keeping a broader perspective, you can help others see beyond the immediate crisis and remind them that this too shall pass. This perspective allows you to remain calm when others are losing their heads, providing the clarity they need to find their way through difficult times. Imagine a friend who is dealing with a major setback. Perhaps they've lost their job or faced a personal failure. They're overwhelmed by the situation, feeling like their world is falling apart. As a Stoic influence in their life, you help them see the bigger picture. You remind them that this setback, while painful, is not the end of their story. By helping them gain perspective, you offer them the strength to keep going, to see beyond the immediate pain, and to focus on the possibilities that lie ahead. Stoic wisdom also teaches the importance of self-control. In times of stress, it's easy to let emotions take over, leading to reactions that can escalate a situation rather than calm it. By cultivating self-control, you become the person who can step back, take a deep breath, and respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This self-control not only helps you navigate your own life more effectively, but also sets an example for others, showing them that it's possible to remain composed even in the face of adversity. Imagine a tense meeting at work where tempers are flaring and the discussion is becoming heated. As someone who practices self-control, you don't get drawn into the conflict. Instead, you remain calm, speak with clarity, and help steer the conversation back to a productive path. Your ability to stay composed in the heat of the moment has a calming effect on those around you, helping to diffuse the tension and guide the group toward a resolution. Another vital principle is honesty. Being a rock for others means being someone they can trust, and trust is built on honesty. This doesn't mean being brutally honest or insensitive, but rather being truthful in a way that is considerate and supportive. When others know that they can rely on you for honest feedback or advice, they're more likely to turn to you in times of need. Your honesty, combined with empathy and understanding, helps them feel supported and respected. Imagine a situation where a close friend is making a decision that you believe might not be in their best interest. Instead of telling them what they want to hear, you choose to be honest, expressing your concerns in a caring and supportive way. Your friend knows that your honesty comes from a place of love and respect, and even if they don't immediately agree with you, they value your perspective. Over time, this honesty strengthens your relationship, as they learn to trust that you will always give them thoughtful and sincere advice. Stoic principles also emphasize the importance of resilience. Life will inevitably throw challenges your way, and how you respond to them will determine not only your own well-being, but also your ability to support others. Resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, to keep going even when things get tough. By cultivating resilience, you become a source of strength for others, showing them that it's possible to overcome adversity and emerge stronger on the other side. Imagine facing a personal loss or setback, something that deeply affects you. Instead of collapsing under the weight of it, you draw on your inner resilience to keep moving forward. Those around you see your strength, and it inspires them to find their own. Your ability to bounce back from hardship, to keep going even when the road is difficult, provides a powerful example for others who may be struggling with their own challenges. Another crucial aspect of being the rock that others lean on is practicing humility. The Stoics remind us that true strength is not about being the loudest or most dominant person in the room. It's about understanding your own limitations and being willing to learn from others. Humility allows you to be open to different perspectives, to admit when you're wrong, and to grow from your experiences. This humility, combined with strength, makes you approachable and trustworthy, someone others feel comfortable turning to for support. Imagine a leader who, instead of always asserting their authority, listens to the ideas and concerns of their team. They acknowledge when they don't have all the answers and are willing to learn from those around them. This humility doesn't diminish their authority, it enhances it, as others see them as a fair and thoughtful leader who values input from all sides. By practicing humility, you create an environment of mutual respect and trust, where others feel safe to express themselves and seek guidance. Finally, being a rock for others involves the practice of consistency. Consistency means showing up for others in the same way, day after day, regardless of your own mood or circumstances. It's about being dependable, someone others can count on to be there, not just in the good times, but especially in the tough times. This consistency builds trust and reliability, the cornerstones of strong relationships. Imagine being the friend who, no matter what, always checks in during difficult times. Whether it's a quick text, a phone call, or simply being there to listen, your consistent presence makes a difference. People know that they can rely on you, that you'll be there when they need you, without fail. This consistency doesn't require grand gestures. It's the small, steady actions that build a foundation of trust and support. By integrating these Stoic principles into your life, patience, empathy, reliability, perspective, self-control, honesty, resilience, humility, and consistency, you become the rock that others can lean on. This doesn't mean you're invincible or never have your own struggles. It means that through your own practice of Stoicism, you've cultivated an inner strength that allows you to be a source of stability and support for those around you. This role is not about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about being present, being there when others need you, and offering a calm and steady hand in times of uncertainty. The strength you cultivate within yourself radiates outward, creating a ripple effect that touches the lives of those around you. In this way, you become a beacon of Stoic wisdom, not through words alone, but through the quiet, consistent actions that demonstrate your commitment to being a reliable, trustworthy, and supportive presence in the lives of others. As you continue on your Stoic journey, you'll find that these principles not only strengthen your own character, but also enhance your ability to positively impact the lives of those around you. You become the anchor in the storm, the steady ground beneath the feet of those who feel lost, and the quiet strength that others turn to in times of need. This is the true essence of Stoic leadership, being the rock that everyone can lean on, not through force or control, but through the calm, consistent embodiment of Stoic values in every aspect of your life. As you deepen your understanding of Stoic principles, you might start to see a profound shift in how you approach life. The calm, steady presence you've cultivated, the rock that others can rely on, has given you a unique strength. But even with this inner stability, there's still a temptation many of us face, the urge to control every aspect of our journey, to force our path in the direction we think it should go. Yet, this forcefulness often leads to frustration, resistance, and unnecessary struggle. What if, instead, you could let go of the need to force outcomes and allow Stoicism to guide your life more naturally, more fluidly? In our quest for success, happiness, or fulfillment, it's easy to fall into the trap of pushing too hard, of trying to mold life to fit our desires. We set goals, make plans, and work tirelessly to achieve them. And while determination and effort are valuable, there's a fine line between purposeful action and forceful insistence. When we cross that line, we often find ourselves swimming upstream, battling against the natural flow of life and feeling increasingly worn out and disheartened. Imagine for a moment what it feels like to force something, a conversation, a relationship, or even a career path. There's a sense of tension, of effort that feels heavy and draining. Things don't seem to fall into place as they should, and instead of feeling a sense of progress, there's just frustration. Now, contrast that with moments when everything seems to align effortlessly. The conversation flows, opportunities arise naturally, and you feel in sync with the world around you. These moments of alignment are not the result of force, but of a harmony with the natural flow of life. Stoicism teaches us that while we should take responsibility for our actions and strive to live according to our values, we must also recognize the limits of our control. There is a delicate balance between taking purposeful action and knowing when to step back, to let go, and to allow life to unfold as it will. This balance is the key to living a life guided by Stoic principles without the need for force. Consider the times in your life when you felt the need to force a particular outcome. Perhaps you were so focused on achieving a specific goal that you ignored the signs telling you to slow down, to reconsider, or to take a different path. The more you pushed, the more resistance you encountered, until eventually you were left feeling exhausted and unfulfilled. This is the experience of trying to force your path, a path that may not have been meant for you, or at least not in the way you envisioned it. Imagine instead approaching life with a sense of openness and curiosity, allowing Stoicism to guide you rather than trying to force your way forward. This doesn't mean you stop setting goals or working towards your dreams, but it does mean you remain flexible, adaptable, and willing to embrace whatever comes your way. It means trusting that by living according to Stoic principles, focusing on what you can control, accepting what you cannot, and responding with wisdom and calm, you will naturally move in the direction that is right for you. One of the key lessons in embracing this approach is understanding that not everything is meant to happen according to our timeline or in the way we expect. Life has its own rhythm, its own timing, and often the best things come when we least expect them. By letting go of the need to control every detail, we create space for opportunities and experiences to come to us naturally. This doesn't mean we become passive. It means we learn to flow with life rather than against it. Imagine you're navigating a river. You can paddle with all your might, trying to force your way upstream, fighting against the current. But eventually, you'll tire, and the river will still take you where it's going. Alternatively, you can work with the current, guiding your boat gently, making adjustments as needed, but ultimately allowing the river to carry you forward. This is the essence of living a Stoic guided life. Taking action, yes, but doing so in harmony with the natural flow of life, rather than in opposition to it. Another important aspect of allowing Stoicism to guide your life is embracing the idea that setbacks and obstacles are not barriers to your path, but integral parts of it. The Stoics believed that every challenge, every difficulty is an opportunity for growth and learning. When we force our path, we often see obstacles as things to be removed or avoided at all costs. But when we embrace the Stoic mindset, we recognize that these obstacles are what shape us, what help us become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Think about a time when you faced a significant obstacle. Perhaps it was a failed relationship, a career setback, or a personal loss. In the moment, it may have felt like something that was blocking your path, something that needed to be overcome or eradicated. But looking back, you might see that this obstacle was actually a turning point, a moment that led you to a new direction, a new understanding, or a new level of personal growth. By allowing these challenges to be part of your journey rather than trying to force them out of the way, you create a life that is richer, deeper, and more aligned with your true self. This approach requires a shift in perspective, a willingness to let go of rigid expectations and to embrace uncertainty. It's about trusting that by following the principles of Stoicism, such as focusing on your inner character, acting with virtue, and accepting the things you cannot change, you are on the right path, even if it doesn't always look the way you imagined it would. This trust allows you to move through life with greater ease, less resistance, and more openness to the unexpected opportunities and experiences that come your way. Imagine approaching each day with this mindset, waking up with a sense of curiosity about what the day will bring, rather than a strict agenda that must be followed at all costs. You still have goals, you still take action, but you do so with a sense of flexibility, allowing yourself to adapt as needed, to change course if necessary, and to embrace the surprises that life inevitably brings. This approach not only reduces stress, but also enhances your ability to find joy and fulfillment in the present moment, rather than constantly striving for a future that may or may not unfold as you expect. Another key element of letting Stoicism guide your life is the practice of non-attachment. The Stoics taught that attachment to specific outcomes, people or things, can lead to suffering, especially when those attachments are disrupted or lost. By cultivating non-attachment, you allow yourself to engage fully with life without being consumed by the need to hold on tightly to any particular aspect of it. This doesn't mean you don't care or that you become indifferent. It means you recognize that everything in life is transient, and you learn to appreciate and value what you have without clinging to it. Consider a situation where you're deeply invested in a project at work. You've poured your heart and soul into it, and you have a clear vision of how you want it to turn out. But as the project progresses, unforeseen challenges arise, and it becomes clear that things aren't going to go as planned. If you're attached to the original vision, you might find yourself frustrated, stressed, and even resentful as the project deviates from your expectations. But if you practice non-attachment, you can adapt to the changes, find new ways to achieve your goals, or even discover that the project is leading you to something better than you originally imagined. This practice of non-attachment extends to all areas of life: relationships, careers, material possessions, and even our own identities. By learning to engage with life fully while remaining unattached to specific outcomes, we free ourselves from the fear of loss and disappointment. We become more resilient, more adaptable, and more open to the ever-changing nature of life. This non-attachment doesn't diminish our experiences. It enhances them, allowing us to appreciate the present moment for what it is, without the pressure of trying to make it into something else. Letting Stoicism guide your life also involves embracing the concept of amor fati, or the love of fate. The Stoics believed that everything that happens in life, whether good or bad, is necessary and ultimately for the best. This doesn't mean that every event is pleasant or desirable, but that each experience contributes to our growth and development in ways we may not immediately understand. By embracing amor fati, you learn to love and accept your life as it is, rather than constantly wishing it were different. Imagine facing a difficult situation, perhaps a job loss, a health issue, or a personal disappointment. It's natural to feel upset or frustrated, to wish that things were different. But by embracing amor fati, you choose to see this experience as a necessary part of your journey, something that will ultimately contribute to your growth and understanding. This mindset allows you to move through challenges with greater grace and acceptance, knowing that everything that happens is part of the larger tapestry of your life. This doesn't mean that you passively accept everything that comes your way without taking action. It means that you approach life with a sense of trust and acceptance, knowing that even the difficult moments are valuable and necessary. By letting go of the need to control every aspect of your life and embracing the Stoic principle of amor fati, you free yourself from the constant struggle against reality and find peace in the flow of life. As you allow Stoicism to guide your life, you'll also find that your relationships with others begin to change. When you stop forcing your path, you become more present, more attentive, and more compassionate with those around you. You're no longer trying to control or manipulate situations to fit your desires, but instead, you're engaging with others in a way that is authentic and grounded in mutual respect. This creates stronger, more meaningful connections, as people feel seen, heard, and valued for who they are, rather than for what they can do for you. Imagine a conversation with a friend where you're fully present, listening not to respond or to direct the conversation, but simply to understand and connect. You're not trying to steer the conversation in a particular direction or achieve a specific outcome. You're just being with the person, allowing the conversation to unfold naturally. This creates a space where genuine connection can happen, where both you and the other person feel valued and understood. This is the kind of interaction that becomes possible when you let go of force and allow Stoicism to guide your relationships. In your professional life, this approach can also lead to greater success and fulfillment. When you stop forcing your path, you become more attuned to opportunities that align with your values and strengths, rather than chasing after every potential opportunity out of fear or desperation. You start to make decisions that feel right, even if they don't always align with conventional wisdom or the expectations of others. This alignment with your true self, guided by Stoic principles, leads to a career path that is more fulfilling, sustainable, and true to who you are. Imagine making a career decision not based on external pressures or fears, but on what feels right for you. Perhaps it means taking a risk, choosing a path that is less certain but more aligned with your values. By trusting in this process, you find that your work becomes more meaningful and fulfilling, and you're able to contribute in ways that are authentic and impactful. This is the power of letting Stoicism guide your life, allowing your actions to be driven by your inner compass rather than by external forces. Finally, allowing Stoicism to guide your life means embracing the present moment fully. The Stoics taught that the present moment is the only time we truly have, and that by focusing on the here and now, we can live more fully and authentically. This doesn't mean ignoring the future or neglecting your responsibilities. It means being fully engaged in whatever you're doing, whether it's a conversation, a task, or simply enjoying a quiet moment. By living in the present, you free yourself from the anxieties of the past and future, and you create a life that is rich with meaning and purpose. Imagine a day where you're fully present in each moment, whether you're working, spending time with loved ones, or simply relaxing. You're not distracted by worries about the future or regrets about the past. You're fully engaged in whatever you're doing, appreciating the richness of each experience. This presence brings a deep sense of fulfillment and contentment, as you're no longer caught in the endless cycle of striving and worrying. This is the essence of living a life guided by Stoicism, being fully present, fully engaged, and fully at peace with whatever comes your way. As you continue on this journey, embracing Stoicism to guide your life, you'll find that the need to force your path diminishes. You'll discover a deeper trust in the flow of life, a greater sense of peace and acceptance, and a more authentic and fulfilling way of being. This doesn't mean that life will always be easy or that challenges will disappear, but it does mean that you'll have the tools and the mindset to navigate whatever comes your way with grace, wisdom, and calm. This is the power of Stoicism, not just as a philosophy, but as a way of life that allows you to move through the world with a sense of purpose, peace, and fulfillment. As you navigate life with the guidance of Stoic principles, embracing the flow rather than forcing your path, a new realization begins to take root. A realization that beneath the surface of every challenge, every obstacle, and every fear, there lies an unshakable core of strength within you. This strength, rooted in the teachings of Stoicism, and particularly in the wisdom of Epictetus, beckons you to act as if nothing can truly touch you. It's not about denying the reality of life's difficulties, but about cultivating a mindset of invulnerability, where your inner peace remains unbroken regardless of what life throws your way. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, taught that while we cannot control external events, we have absolute control over our own minds. The essence of his teachings is simple yet profound. The key to true freedom and resilience lies in our ability to choose how we respond to the world around us. By adopting a mindset that nothing external can truly harm us, only our own judgments and reactions, we tap into a wellspring of inner strength that shields us from the storms of life. Imagine the power of moving through the world with this mindset. Challenges arise, as they inevitably do, but instead of being shaken or thrown off course, you remain calm, composed, and untroubled. The frustrations of daily life, the opinions of others, the uncertainties of the future, none of these can disturb your inner peace, because you have embraced the idea that they have no power over you unless you grant it to them. This is the heart of Epictetus's message. Act as if nothing can touch you, because in truth, nothing can. Consider how often we allow ourselves to be affected by things beyond our control. A harsh word from a colleague, a missed opportunity, a sudden change in plans. These events, though external, can send ripples of anxiety, anger, or frustration through us. But Epictetus reminds us that these ripples are not caused by the events themselves, but by our judgments about them. By learning to control our judgments, by choosing to see these events as neutral rather than threatening, we can maintain our inner tranquility no matter what happens around us. Imagine someone who embodies this mindset in their daily life. Perhaps it's a person you know, or perhaps it's a version of yourself that you aspire to become. They move through the world with a quiet confidence, unshaken by the ups and downs that others might find overwhelming. When faced with adversity, they don't react with fear or anger, but with a calm acceptance, knowing that their true self remains untouched by external events. This is not apathy or detachment. It is a deep-seated understanding that their worth, their peace, their happiness comes not from the outside world, but from within. To adopt this mindset, it's essential to understand the nature of true invulnerability as Epictetus saw it. It's not about building walls around yourself or shutting out the world. It's about recognizing that the world cannot truly harm you unless you allow it to. This understanding comes from a profound shift in perspective, seeing external events not as threats to your well-being, but as opportunities to practice resilience, to affirm your inner strength. Imagine encountering a situation that would normally trigger frustration or fear, a sudden change at work, an unexpected financial setback, or a personal disappointment. With Epictetus's teachings in mind, you pause before reacting. Instead of immediately allowing the event to dictate your emotions, you take a step back and remind yourself that the event itself is neutral. It's your judgment of the event that has the power to disturb your peace. By choosing to see the situation through the lens of Stoic wisdom, you regain control over your emotions, responding with calm and clarity rather than with panic or anger. This practice doesn't mean you become indifferent to what happens around you. It means you become more discerning about what deserves your emotional energy. By acting as if nothing can touch you, you start to realize that many of the things that once caused you stress or anxiety are not as powerful as they seemed. You begin to distinguish between what is truly within your control, your thoughts, your actions, your character, and what is not, such as the opinions of others, the outcomes of events, or the behavior of those around you. Imagine the freedom that comes with this mindset. You are no longer a prisoner to external circumstances. Whether you face praise or criticism, success or failure, you remain centered, knowing that these are merely surface-level occurrences that cannot alter your true self. This invulnerability doesn't make you impervious to life's challenges. It makes you resilient in the face of them, allowing you to engage with the world fully without being controlled by it. Another aspect of adopting this mindset is the practice of focusing on your own actions rather than the results. Epictetus emphasized that while we should strive to do our best in everything we undertake, we must also recognize that the outcomes are often beyond our control. By focusing on the process, on doing what is right, honorable, and aligned with our values, we can find peace in the knowledge that we have done our part, regardless of the outcome. Imagine approaching a significant project or goal with this mindset. You put in your best effort, making decisions based on your principles and values. But instead of fixating on the end result, you find satisfaction in the work itself, in knowing that you have acted with integrity and diligence. When the outcome arrives, whether it's a success or a setback, you accept it with equanimity, knowing that your peace of mind was never dependent on the result, but on your own actions. This is the essence of acting as if nothing can touch you, finding fulfillment in the process rather than in the outcome. This approach also extends to how you handle relationships and interactions with others. People around you may act in ways that are inconsiderate, unfair, or even hostile. It's natural to feel hurt or angry in these situations, but Epictetus's teachings remind us that others' actions cannot harm us unless we allow them to. By maintaining control over your own reactions, you can navigate these interactions with grace, responding with kindness or firmness as the situation requires, but never allowing others' behavior to dictate your emotional state. Imagine a scenario where a colleague undermines your work or a friend betrays your trust. While these actions are undoubtedly painful, they do not have the power to diminish your worth or shake your inner peace unless you let them. By acting as if nothing can touch you, you choose to maintain your composure and integrity, responding to the situation in a way that aligns with your values rather than reacting out of hurt or anger. This doesn't mean you ignore or excuse the behavior. It means you address it from a place of strength rather than vulnerability. Adopting this mindset also involves letting go of the need for external validation. We often seek approval and recognition from others, believing that these external affirmations are necessary for our happiness or self-worth. But Epictetus taught that true contentment comes from within, from knowing that we are living in accordance with our principles. By acting as if nothing can touch you, you release the need for others' approval, finding satisfaction in your own inner compass rather than in the fleeting praise or criticism of the outside world. Imagine no longer being swayed by others' opinions, whether they praise you or criticize you, whether they support you or oppose you. You find your validation within, knowing that as long as you are true to your values, nothing else matters. This doesn't mean you become indifferent to others or their feedback. It means you stop allowing external opinions to control your sense of self-worth. You become grounded in your own principles, acting with confidence and clarity, regardless of what others think or say. Another critical aspect of acting as if nothing can touch you is the practice of embracing change and uncertainty. Life is inherently unpredictable, and change is inevitable. By resisting change or fearing the unknown, we create unnecessary stress and anxiety. Epictetus teaches us to accept change as a natural part of life, to see it not as a threat, but as an opportunity to grow and adapt. By embracing this mindset, you become resilient in the face of uncertainty, knowing that your true strength lies in your ability to navigate change with grace and composure. Imagine facing a major life transition, perhaps a move to a new city, a career change, or a significant shift in your personal life. The uncertainty can be daunting, and it's natural to feel apprehensive. But by adopting the mindset that nothing can truly touch you, you approach the change with a sense of curiosity and openness. You trust in your ability to adapt and thrive, knowing that your inner peace is not dependent on external stability, but on your own resilience and flexibility. This approach not only reduces your fear of change, but also empowers you to embrace new opportunities and experiences with confidence. This mindset also encourages a sense of detachment from material possessions and external achievements. While it's natural to seek comfort and success in life, Epictetus reminds us that these things are impermanent and beyond our ultimate control. By acting as if nothing can touch you, you learn to enjoy and appreciate what you have without becoming overly attached to it. You recognize that your true value lies not in what you possess or achieve, but in how you live your life, in the character and principles you embody. Imagine enjoying the fruits of your labor, whether it's financial success, a comfortable home, or personal achievements, without becoming dependent on them for your happiness. You appreciate these things for what they are, but you also know that they are not the source of your true worth. By acting as if nothing can touch you, you cultivate a sense of inner freedom that allows you to enjoy life's pleasures without being enslaved by them. You remain grounded in your values, knowing that your happiness and peace of mind are not tied to external circumstances. Another vital component of this mindset is the ability to forgive and let go of past grievances. Holding on to anger, resentment, or regret can weigh heavily on our hearts and minds, disrupting our inner peace. Epictetus teaches that these emotions only harm us if we allow them to linger. By acting as if nothing can touch you, you practice forgiveness, not necessarily as an act of absolution for others, but as a way to free yourself from the burden of negative emotions. Imagine carrying a grudge or a deep-seated resentment against someone who has wronged you. The anger you feel might seem justified, but it also keeps you tied to the past, preventing you from moving forward. By choosing to act as if nothing can touch you, you decide to let go of this resentment, not for the other person's sake, but for your own peace of mind. You release the anger, not because what happened was acceptable, but because you refuse to let it continue to affect your life. This act of forgiveness liberates you, allowing you to reclaim your inner peace and focus on the present. This mindset also applies to how you view challenges and setbacks. Life is full of obstacles, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed when things don't go as planned. But Epictetus's teachings remind us that challenges are not meant to break us, but to build us. By acting as if nothing can touch you, you see setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities to strengthen your character and resilience. You approach challenges with a mindset of invulnerability, knowing that while the road may be difficult, it cannot diminish your true self. Imagine facing a significant setback, perhaps a failed project, a personal loss, or a health challenge. The immediate reaction might be one of frustration, disappointment, or despair. But by adopting the mindset that nothing can touch you, you choose to see this setback as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. You focus on what you can learn from the experience, how it can help you grow, and how you can use it to build even greater resilience. This approach not only helps you navigate the challenge with grace, but also strengthens your inner resolve, making you even more capable of handling future difficulties. Finally, acting as if nothing can touch you involves embracing the present moment with full awareness and acceptance. The Stoics taught that the present moment is the only time we truly have, and that by focusing on the here and now, we can live more fully and authentically. This doesn't mean ignoring the past or neglecting the future, but rather being fully engaged in whatever you're doing, appreciating the richness of each experience and letting go of unnecessary worries and distractions. Imagine a day where you are fully present in each moment, whether you are working, spending time with loved ones, or simply enjoying a quiet walk. You are not distracted by thoughts of what could go wrong or what has gone wrong in the past. Instead, you are completely engaged in the present, appreciating the beauty of the moment and the opportunities it offers. This presence brings a deep sense of fulfillment and contentment, as you are no longer caught in the endless cycle of worrying about things that are beyond your control. By acting as if nothing can touch you, you cultivate a life that is rich in meaning and free from the unnecessary burdens of worry and fear. As you continue on this journey, embracing the mindset that Epictetus championed, you will find that the challenges of life no longer have the power to disturb your inner peace. You will discover a deeper sense of resilience, a calm confidence that allows you to navigate the ups and downs of life with grace and composure. This is not about denying the difficulties of life, but about recognizing that they cannot truly harm you unless you allow them to. By acting as if nothing can touch you, you free yourself from the constraints of fear, anxiety, and doubt, and you step into a life of true freedom and fulfillment. As you continue to embrace the Stoic mindset, acting as if nothing can truly touch you, you begin to recognize that the strength you cultivate within yourself is not just about enduring challenges, it's also about letting go of the things that weigh you down. These burdens often come in the form of toxic patterns that have woven themselves into the fabric of your daily life, silently sapping your energy, clouding your judgment, and holding you back from the peace and fulfillment that you seek. It's time to confront these patterns head-on, to strip away what no longer serves you, and to step into a new year with clarity, purpose, and a renewed sense of inner freedom. Toxic patterns are like invisible chains, subtly influencing your thoughts, actions, and emotions. They can be deeply ingrained habits, ways of thinking that have become second nature, or even external influences that you've allowed to take root in your life. Over time, these patterns can erode your sense of self, creating a cycle of negativity that's difficult to break free from. But with the insight and discipline that Stoicism offers, you have the power to identify these patterns, understand their impact, and remove them, paving the way for a more centered and empowered existence. Imagine starting a new year with the intention to clear away the mental and emotional clutter that has accumulated over time. This isn't about making grand resolutions that fade by February, but about making a conscious decision to confront the patterns that have been holding you back. It's about taking a hard look at the habits, thoughts, and behaviors that no longer align with the person you want to become, and making the deliberate choice to let them go. This process requires honesty, self-reflection, and the courage to face uncomfortable truths, but it's a crucial step in creating a life that is truly your own. One of the most insidious toxic patterns is the habit of self-criticism. This is the voice in your head that constantly judges, belittles, and undermines your confidence. It's the part of you that focuses on your mistakes, magnifies your flaws, and convinces you that you're not good enough. Over time, this inner critic can become so pervasive that it feels like an inescapable part of who you are. But Stoicism teaches us that we are not defined by our thoughts. We have the power to choose which thoughts we entertain and which we let go. Imagine recognizing this inner critic for what it truly is, a toxic pattern that distorts your perception of yourself. Instead of allowing it to dominate your mind, you begin to challenge it, questioning its validity and replacing it with thoughts that are constructive and aligned with your values. You start to practice self-compassion, acknowledging your imperfections while also recognizing your strengths and potential. By eliminating the pattern of self-criticism, you free yourself from the burden of negative self-talk and create space for self-acceptance and growth. Another toxic pattern that can hold you back is the habit of comparison. In today's world, where social media and constant connectivity make it easy to see what others are doing, it's all too easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others. You might find yourself measuring your success against someone else's, feeling inadequate because you haven't achieved what they have, or because your life doesn't look as perfect as theirs. This pattern can lead to feelings of envy, resentment, and a persistent sense of dissatisfaction, even when you have much to be grateful for. Imagine letting go of this habit of comparison. Instead of focusing on what others have or what they're doing, you turn your attention inward, asking yourself what truly matters to you. You start to define success on your own terms, based on your values and aspirations, rather than on external benchmarks. You practice gratitude for what you have and recognize that everyone's journey is unique. By removing the pattern of comparison from your life, you reclaim your sense of self-worth and find contentment in your own path. The pattern of people-pleasing is another toxic habit that can drain your energy and leave you feeling unfulfilled. It's the tendency to prioritize others' needs and desires over your own, often at the expense of your well-being. You might find yourself saying yes when you want to say no, going along with things you don't agree with, or bending over backward to avoid conflict or disapproval. While it's natural to want to be liked and to maintain harmony in your relationships, people-pleasing can lead to resentment, burnout, and a loss of your authentic self. Imagine breaking free from this pattern. You start by recognizing your own needs and boundaries, giving yourself permission to prioritize them. You practice saying no when something doesn't align with your values or well-being, trusting that those who truly care about you will respect your choices. You begin to assert yourself in a way that is kind but firm, and you let go of the fear of disappointing others. By removing the pattern of people-pleasing, you create space for more authentic and balanced relationships, where your needs are valued just as much as those of others. Another toxic pattern that can undermine your peace is the habit of holding grudges. When someone wrongs you, it's natural to feel hurt or angry, but holding on to that anger can create a cycle of resentment that poisons your relationships and your own sense of well-being. Grudges can become a heavy burden, keeping you tied to past wrongs and preventing you from moving forward. They can also lead to a hardened heart, making it difficult to experience true joy or connection. Imagine choosing to let go of grudges. This doesn't mean condoning the hurtful actions of others or forgetting what happened. It means deciding that you will not let those actions continue to harm you by dwelling on them. You practice forgiveness, not necessarily for the sake of the other person, but for your own peace of mind. You release the anger and resentment, allowing yourself to move on with a lighter heart. By removing the pattern of holding grudges, you free yourself from the emotional weight that has been holding you back and open the door to healing and renewal. Procrastination is another toxic pattern that can sabotage your goals and create unnecessary stress. It's the habit of putting off important tasks, often because they feel overwhelming or because you're afraid of failing. Procrastination can lead to a cycle of avoidance, where the longer you delay, the more daunting the task becomes, and the more guilt and anxiety you feel. This pattern can prevent you from reaching your full potential and can turn even small tasks into major sources of stress. Imagine breaking the cycle of procrastination. You start by acknowledging the fear or discomfort that's driving the avoidance and then taking small, manageable steps to move forward. You focus on progress rather than perfection, recognizing that taking action, even imperfectly, is better than doing nothing. You also practice self-compassion, understanding that procrastination is a common struggle and that each step you take is a victory. By removing the pattern of procrastination, you empower yourself to take control of your time and energy, achieving your goals with greater ease and confidence. The pattern of negative thinking is another toxic habit that can cloud your judgment and keep you stuck in a cycle of pessimism. This pattern often manifests as expecting the worst, focusing on what could go wrong, or interpreting situations in the most negative light. While it's important to be realistic and to prepare for challenges, consistently thinking negatively can create a self-fulfilling prophecy, where your expectations shape your reality in unhelpful ways. Imagine shifting your mindset from one of negativity to one of possibility. You start by becoming aware of your negative thoughts and challenging them with questions like, is this thought true? Is it helpful? What's another way to look at this situation? You also practice gratitude, focusing on what's going right in your life and what you have to be thankful for. By removing the pattern of negative thinking, you open yourself up to new opportunities and experiences, approaching life with a sense of optimism and hope. Another toxic pattern that can undermine your happiness is the habit of blaming others for your problems. It's easy to fall into the trap of pointing fingers when things go wrong, whether it's blaming your boss for your work stress, your partner for relationship issues, or even the world for your misfortunes. While external factors can certainly contribute to challenges, consistently blaming others can prevent you from taking responsibility for your own life and can keep you stuck in a cycle of victimhood. Imagine taking full ownership of your life, regardless of external circumstances. You start by acknowledging your own role in the challenges you face and focusing on what you can do to improve the situation. Instead of blaming others, you take proactive steps to address the issue, whether it's having a difficult conversation, setting boundaries, or making changes in your own behavior. By removing the pattern of blame, you reclaim your power and take control of your life, creating positive change from within. The pattern of avoiding difficult emotions is another toxic habit that can hinder your personal growth. It's natural to want to avoid pain, sadness, or fear, but consistently pushing these emotions away can lead to emotional numbness, unresolved issues, and even physical health problems. Avoiding difficult emotions can also prevent you from fully experiencing life, as it often leads to a limited emotional range and a sense of disconnection from yourself and others. Imagine allowing yourself to fully experience and process your emotions, no matter how uncomfortable they may be. You start by acknowledging your feelings without judgment, giving yourself permission to feel what you feel. You then explore the root of these emotions, asking yourself what they're trying to tell you and what needs to be addressed or healed. By removing the pattern of avoiding difficult emotions, you open yourself up to greater emotional resilience and a deeper connection with yourself and others. Another toxic pattern is the habit of perfectionism. This is the belief that you must do everything perfectly or not at all, leading to unrealistic expectations and constant self-criticism. Perfectionism can prevent you from taking risks, trying new things, or even completing tasks, as you become paralyzed by the fear of not being good enough. This pattern can also create a constant state of stress and dissatisfaction, as you never feel that you measure up to your own impossible standards. Imagine embracing the idea that it's okay to be imperfect. You start by setting realistic goals and expectations for yourself, recognizing that doing your best is enough. You also practice self-compassion, forgiving yourself for mistakes, and viewing them as opportunities for growth rather than failures. By removing the pattern of perfectionism, you free yourself from the pressure to be flawless and allow yourself to grow, learn, and achieve in a more balanced and sustainable way. The habit of overthinking is another toxic pattern that can drain your energy and keep you stuck in a cycle of indecision and anxiety. Overthinking often involves obsessively analyzing situations, replaying conversations, or worrying about potential outcomes. This pattern can prevent you from taking action, enjoying the present moment, or finding peace of mind as you become trapped in a loop of endless mental chatter. Imagine quieting your mind and finding clarity in the present moment. You start by recognizing when you're overthinking and gently redirecting your focus to what you can do right now. You also practice mindfulness, bringing your attention back to your breath, your body, or your surroundings whenever your mind starts to spiral. By removing the pattern of overthinking, you free yourself from mental clutter and create space for greater clarity, focus, and inner peace. Finally, the pattern of living in the past is another toxic habit that can prevent you from fully engaging with the present and building a fulfilling future. Whether it's dwelling on past mistakes, reliving old hurts, or longing for a time that's gone, living in the past can keep you stuck in a cycle of regret, sadness, and stagnation. This pattern can also prevent you from embracing new opportunities and experiences as you become too focused on what was rather than what could be. Imagine letting go of the past and fully embracing the present. You start by acknowledging the past for what it is, a series of experiences that have shaped you but do not define you. You then focus on what you can do today to create the life you want, setting goals and taking actions that align with your values and aspirations. By removing the pattern of living in the past, you free yourself to live fully in the present, creating a future that is rich with possibility and growth. By identifying and eliminating these toxic patterns from your life, you clear away the obstacles that have been holding you back and create space for new growth, fulfillment, and inner peace. This process requires self-awareness, courage, and the willingness to make changes, but the rewards are profound. As you move forward in this year, free from the weight of these patterns, you open yourself up to a life that is truly your own, guided by the principles of Stoicism and grounded in a deep sense of inner strength and clarity. As you shed the toxic patterns that have weighed you down, you're left with a renewed sense of clarity and purpose. The chains of self-criticism, comparison, and overthinking have been broken, and now you stand at the threshold of a new chapter, one where each day is an opportunity to live fully and intentionally. But how do you ensure that every day truly counts? How do you align your actions with the wisdom you've gained and make the most of the time you have? The answer lies in the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, who understood that the key to a meaningful life is found not in grand gestures, but in the consistent, mindful practices that shape our daily lives. Imagine waking up each morning with a sense of purpose, knowing that today is not just another day to get through, but a valuable gift, a chance to live according to your highest values. This mindset, cultivated by Marcus Aurelius, is at the heart of the Stoic routine, simple yet powerful practices that, when integrated into your daily life, can help you make each day count. It's about being fully present, intentional, and aligned with your deeper purpose, no matter what challenges or distractions come your way. One of the most powerful aspects of Marcus Aurelius's routine is the practice of morning reflection. Instead of rushing into the day, reacting to whatever demands come your way, you begin with a moment of stillness and introspection. This practice allows you to set the tone for the day, to ground yourself in your values, and to remind yourself of what truly matters. By taking this time each morning, you create a solid foundation upon which the rest of your day can be built. Imagine starting your day not with the jolt of an alarm or the rush of checking your phone, but with a few moments of quiet reflection. You might ask yourself questions like, what is my purpose today? How can I live in alignment with my values? What challenges might I face? And how will I respond to them with wisdom and grace? These questions help you to center yourself and to approach the day with intention, rather than simply reacting to whatever comes your way. By integrating this practice into your daily routine, you begin to see each day as an opportunity to live purposefully, to make choices that reflect who you truly want to be. Another key element of Marcus Aurelius's routine is the practice of mindful action. It's easy to go through the motions of the day, doing what needs to be done without much thought or awareness. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us that every action we take is an opportunity to live in accordance with our principles. This means approaching even the most mundane tasks with mindfulness and care, seeing them as opportunities to practice virtues like patience, diligence, and humility. Imagine approaching each task you undertake, no matter how small or routine, with full attention and presence. Whether it's preparing a meal, working on a project, or having a conversation, you do so with the awareness that this moment is an opportunity to live your values. You bring your full self to the task, not rushing through it or treating it as an obligation, but seeing it as a chance to practice being the person you want to be. By cultivating this practice of mindful action, you infuse your day with meaning and purpose, turning even the simplest activities into acts of intentional living. Marcus Aurelius also emphasized the importance of gratitude in his daily routine. It's easy to take the good things in our lives for granted, to focus on what's lacking or what's wrong rather than what's right. But by cultivating a practice of gratitude, you shift your focus to the abundance that already exists in your life. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or difficulties, but it does mean recognizing and appreciating the positive aspects of your life, no matter how small. Imagine taking a few moments each day to reflect on what you're grateful for. This could be as simple as appreciating the warmth of the sun on your face, the support of a friend, or the satisfaction of a job well done. By regularly practicing gratitude, you train your mind to focus on the positive, to see the good in your life, even amidst challenges. This shift in focus not only improves your mood and outlook, but also helps you to approach each day with a sense of appreciation and joy. Another important practice in Marcus Aurelius's routine is the cultivation of self-discipline. Living according to your values isn't always easy, especially when faced with temptations, distractions, or difficult emotions. But by developing self-discipline, you strengthen your ability to make choices that are in alignment with your principles, even when it's challenging. This means practicing restraint, setting boundaries, and making decisions that reflect your long-term goals rather than giving in to short-term impulses. Imagine approaching each decision you make with self-discipline, whether it's choosing what to eat, how to spend your time, or how to respond to a difficult situation. Instead of acting on impulse or letting your emotions dictate your choices, you pause and consider what action is most in line with your values and goals. This doesn't mean denying yourself or living a life of deprivation. It means making conscious choices that reflect the person you want to be. By cultivating self-discipline, you create a life that is guided by your principles rather than by external pressures or fleeting desires. Marcus Aurelius also recognized the importance of evening reflection as a way to close the day with intention. Just as the morning provides an opportunity to set the tone for the day, the evening offers a chance to review how you lived that day, to reflect on your actions, and to learn from your experiences. This practice of reflection helps you to identify where you lived in alignment with your values and where you might have fallen short, and it gives you the opportunity to make adjustments for the future. Imagine ending each day with a few moments of quiet reflection. You might ask yourself questions like, how did I live according to my values today? Where did I face challenges, and how did I respond? What can I learn from today that will help me live more intentionally tomorrow? By taking this time each evening, you create a continuous loop of learning and growth, where each day builds on the last, and where you are constantly refining your ability to live a life of purpose and integrity. Another essential practice in Marcus Aurelius's routine is the cultivation of resilience in the face of adversity. Life is full of challenges and setbacks, and it's easy to become discouraged or overwhelmed when things don't go as planned. But Marcus Aurelius teaches us that these challenges are not obstacles, but opportunities for growth. By approaching adversity with resilience, you strengthen your ability to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and composure, turning even the most difficult experiences into opportunities for personal development. Imagine facing a challenging situation with resilience. Instead of becoming frustrated or discouraged, you see the situation as an opportunity to practice patience, strength, and perseverance. You remind yourself that this challenge, like all things, is temporary, and that your true strength lies in your ability to respond with wisdom and calm. By cultivating resilience, you develop the ability to navigate life's challenges with a sense of purpose and inner strength, knowing that each experience is an opportunity to grow and learn. Another important aspect of making every day count is the practice of being present. In a world filled with distractions, it's easy to become disconnected from the present moment, to get caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the present moment is all we truly have, and that by fully engaging with it, we can live more fully and authentically. Imagine approaching each moment of your day with full presence, whether you're working, spending time with loved ones, or simply enjoying a quiet moment alone. You bring your full attention to whatever you're doing, letting go of distractions and focusing on the here and now. This practice of presence not only enhances your ability to live in alignment with your values, but also deepens your experience of life, allowing you to fully appreciate the richness and beauty of each moment. Another key element of Marcus Aurelius's routine is the practice of compassion, both for yourself and for others. It's easy to become critical or judgmental, both of yourself and those around you, especially when things don't go as planned. But by cultivating compassion, you create a space of understanding and acceptance, where you can approach yourself and others with kindness, even in the face of challenges or mistakes. Imagine approaching each interaction with compassion, whether it's with a colleague, a friend, or even yourself. You recognize that everyone, including yourself, is doing the best they can with the resources they have, and you choose to respond with kindness and understanding rather than criticism or judgment. This practice of compassion not only strengthens your relationships, but also creates a more positive and supportive environment, both for yourself and for those around you. Another important practice in making every day count is the cultivation of purpose. Marcus Aurelius believed that living a life of purpose is essential to living a meaningful life, and that by aligning your actions with your purpose, you create a life that is rich with meaning and fulfillment. This means identifying what truly matters to you and making choices that reflect your values and aspirations. Imagine approaching each day with a clear sense of purpose, knowing that your actions are aligned with your deepest values and goals. You focus on what truly matters to you, letting go of distractions and making choices that reflect your purpose. This doesn't mean that every day is perfect or that you never face challenges, but it does mean that you approach each day with a sense of clarity and direction, knowing that you are living a life that is true to who you are. Finally, the practice of humility is an essential part of making every day count. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that no matter how much we achieve or how much we know, there is always more to learn and room to grow. By approaching life with humility, you remain open to new experiences, willing to learn from others, and aware of your own limitations. Imagine approaching each day with a sense of humility, recognizing that you don't have all the answers and that there is always more to learn. You remain open to feedback, willing to learn from your mistakes, and ready to grow in whatever ways you can. This practice of humility not only enhances your ability to learn and grow, but also creates a sense of connection and understanding with those around you, as you recognize that we are all on this journey together. By integrating these practices into your daily routine, you can make every day count, living with purpose, presence, and intention. Whether it's through morning reflection, mindful action, gratitude, self-discipline, evening reflection, resilience, presence, compassion, purpose, or humility, each practice offers an opportunity to live more fully and authentically. As you continue on your journey, guided by the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, you will find that each day becomes a valuable gift, an opportunity to live in alignment with your highest values and to create a life that is truly meaningful and fulfilling. As you cultivate a life of purpose, presence, and resilience through the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, you begin to understand that the company you keep profoundly influences your journey. The practices you adopt to make each day count are powerful, but they can be easily undermined by the wrong influences. Stoicism teaches us that while we must remain steadfast in our values, we must also be vigilant about the people we allow into our lives. Just as the right influences can uplift and inspire you, the wrong ones can pull you off course, draining your energy and clouding your judgment. Imagine a life where each day is filled with purpose and clarity, where you are consistently working toward your goals and living in alignment with your values. But then, consider how quickly this balance can be disrupted by the presence of negative influences, those who sow doubt, fuel negativity, or distract you from your path. These people, whether they mean to or not, can have a profound impact on your mental and emotional well-being, subtly steering you away from the person you aspire to be. The Stoics were acutely aware of the power of influence. They understood that the people you surround yourself with can either support your growth or hinder it. It's not about judging others or thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about recognizing the impact that certain behaviors and attitudes can have on your life. By being mindful of the company you keep, you protect your peace of mind, your progress, and your sense of self. One type of person Stoicism warns us to avoid is the chronic complainer. This is someone who finds fault with everything, who focuses on the negative aspects of life and spreads that negativity to others. While it's natural to vent frustrations occasionally, chronic complainers seem to thrive on negativity, bringing down the mood of those around them. They can make you question your own optimism and over time can even make you more cynical and pessimistic. Imagine spending time with someone who constantly complains about their job, their relationships, or the state of the world. It's exhausting, isn't it? You might find yourself feeling drained after each interaction, carrying their negativity with you even after they're gone. The Stoics teach us that we should strive to maintain our peace and clarity, and that means distancing ourselves from those who consistently bring negativity into our lives. By avoiding chronic complainers, you protect your own mental and emotional well-being, allowing yourself to remain focused on what's good and what's within your control. Another type of person to be cautious of is the manipulator. Manipulators are skilled at twisting situations to their advantage, often at the expense of others. They might use guilt, flattery, or deception to get what they want, without regard for the impact on those around them. These individuals can be particularly harmful because they undermine your autonomy and sense of self, making you question your own judgment and decisions. Imagine someone in your life who always seems to have an agenda, who uses subtle tactics to influence your choices in ways that benefit them. Over time, you might start to feel confused or even powerless, as if you're not in control of your own life. The Stoics teach us to value our independence and to be wary of those who seek to manipulate us for their own gain. By recognizing and avoiding manipulators, you maintain your integrity and your ability to make decisions that are true to your values. The gossip is another type of person Stoicism advises us to avoid. Gossips thrive on spreading rumors and talking about others behind their backs. They often create drama and tension, pulling you into conflicts that have nothing to do with you. Engaging in gossip not only wastes your time and energy, but also erodes trust and respect in your relationships. Imagine someone who always seems eager to share the latest juicy tidbit about someone else. At first, it might seem harmless or even entertaining, but over time, you realize that this person's gossiping creates a toxic environment where no one feels safe or respected. The Stoics remind us that our words and actions should reflect our values, and participating in gossip is contrary to living a life of integrity. By distancing yourself from gossips, you preserve the quality of your relationships and protect your peace of mind. Another person to be wary of is the constant critic. This individual is quick to point out flaws and shortcomings, often offering unsolicited advice or harsh judgments. While constructive criticism can be valuable, constant criticism can wear you down, making you doubt your abilities and eroding your confidence. The constant critic is often more interested in asserting their superiority than in helping you grow. Imagine someone in your life who always seems to find fault with what you do, no matter how hard you try. Their words might start to echo in your mind, making you second-guess yourself and your decisions. The Stoics teach us to cultivate self-confidence and to focus on our own growth, rather than being overly concerned with the opinions of others. By avoiding constant critics, you create space to develop your skills and pursue your goals without the burden of unnecessary negativity. The drama seeker is another type of person to steer clear of. Drama seekers are drawn to conflict and chaos, often creating problems where none exist. They thrive on the emotional intensity of arguments, misunderstandings, and crises, and they drag others into their turmoil. Being around a drama seeker can be exhausting, as their constant need for excitement disrupts your peace and stability. Imagine someone who always seems to be at the center of some conflict, whether it's a personal argument, a work-related issue, or a social drama. Their presence in your life might feel like a whirlwind, constantly pulling you into situations that drain your energy and distract you from your own priorities. The Stoics emphasize the importance of maintaining inner tranquility and focusing on what truly matters. By avoiding drama seekers, you protect your emotional energy and ensure that your time is spent on more meaningful pursuits. Another type of person to be cautious of is the envious individual. Envy is a corrosive emotion, and those who harbor it often struggle to celebrate the success of others. Instead, they may try to undermine or belittle your achievements, making you feel guilty or undeserving. Envious people can create an atmosphere of competition rather than collaboration, where mutual support and growth are replaced by rivalry and resentment. Imagine sharing a personal success with someone, only to be met with a backhanded compliment or a dismissive remark. Over time, these interactions can make you question your worth and dampen your enthusiasm for pursuing your goals. The Stoics teach us to focus on our own path and to avoid being pulled into unnecessary comparisons or competitions. By recognizing and distancing yourself from envious individuals, You protect your confidence and maintain a positive, supportive environment for your growth. Lastly, the person who lacks integrity is someone to be wary of. Integrity is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It's about living in alignment with your values, being honest, and doing what is right, even when it's difficult. People who lack integrity may lie, cheat, or behave unethically, often justifying their actions as necessary or harmless. Their behavior can erode your trust and pull you into situations that compromise your own values. Imagine someone in your life who consistently bends the truth, cuts corners, or engages in questionable behavior. Being around this person might make you uncomfortable, as their actions conflict with your sense of right and wrong. The Stoics remind us that our character is one of our most valuable assets, and that we should be mindful of the company we keep. By avoiding those who lack integrity, you protect your own values and ensure that your actions remain aligned with your principles. In conclusion, recognizing and avoiding these types of negative influences is not about being judgmental or isolating yourself from others. It's about protecting your mental and emotional well-being, ensuring that the people in your life support your growth rather than hinder it. By surrounding yourself with those who uplift, inspire, and challenge you in positive ways, you create an environment where you can thrive, making the most of each day and living a life that is true to your values. As you continue to apply Stoic principles to your daily life, being mindful of the company you keep is a powerful step toward maintaining your inner peace and clarity. As you've journeyed through the wisdom of Stoicism, from cultivating daily practices to recognizing the influences that shape your life, you've uncovered powerful tools for living with greater purpose, clarity, and resilience. The teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and other Stoic philosophers offer timeless guidance for navigating the complexities of modern life. They remind us that true strength comes not from controlling the external world, but from mastering our inner world, from cultivating a mindset of invulnerability, aligning our actions with our values, and choosing our influences wisely. But the journey doesn't end here. Stoicism is not just a philosophy to be studied, it's a way of life to be lived every day. The insights you've gained are only as powerful as the actions you take. Now is the time to put these teachings into practice, to make each day count, and to transform your life from the inside out. Whether it's by embracing a morning routine that sets the tone for your day, distancing yourself from negative influences, or adopting a mindset that nothing can truly harm you, each step you take is a step toward a life of greater peace, fulfillment, and integrity. Imagine waking up tomorrow with a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that you have the tools to face whatever comes your way with grace and composure. Picture yourself surrounded by people who uplift and inspire you, free from the toxic patterns that once held you back. This is the life that Stoicism offers, a life of clarity, strength, and unwavering inner peace. But remember, transformation is a process, not a destination. It's about making small, consistent changes that over time lead to profound shifts in how you live and experience the world. It's about being patient with yourself, recognizing that growth takes time, and celebrating each victory along the way. The journey of self-improvement is ongoing, and every day presents a new opportunity to practice what you've learned and to grow into the person you aspire to be. As you continue on this path, I encourage you to share your experiences and insights. Your journey is unique, and your perspective can offer valuable encouragement to others who are on a similar path. What challenges have you faced? How have you applied Stoic principles in your daily life? What changes have you noticed? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment below and share your story with our community. If you found this content helpful and want to continue exploring the wisdom of Stoicism, be sure to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you'll stay connected with new content designed to inspire and empower you on your journey toward a life of greater purpose and inner peace. Don't miss out on future videos that will deepen your understanding of Stoicism and provide practical tips for living a more intentional and fulfilling life. Thank you for being a part of this community. Remember, every day is an opportunity to live in alignment with your highest values. Keep striving, keep growing, and keep embracing the wisdom of Stoicism as you continue to navigate the beautiful, complex journey of life.